Text is going to be so nice.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our writer's stream.
Preston does that all the time.
And it's showtime. I don't know why you two were going off. Canada had an election yesterday, and the parliamentary system is a little weird, right? Like, theoretically, you could have an election really soon if the popular party becomes unpopular.
Yeah.
But essentially. That, it's like 5 years or something. I don't know.
Until recently, it was within a certain period of time they had to call an election. Now I think it's every 5 years or something.
Yeah.
I only know that because Larry shared a video on Canadian politics.
Yeah, I did.
Now I know things.
It was about Trudeau. It's really fun.
And here is the amazing John Lamont. Hello, John.
What's up, guys?
Yo.
You're up. How you doing?
Still a little sniffly from the cold I got earlier, so hopefully it doesn't affect too much. So, yeah.
People have been liking Palace.
Woohoo!
So that's good. Let's see.
I'm taking it somewhere new this weekend. I'm really excited.
Yeah. See how my
I'm going up to Cottage Country to sell your book.
I don't know what Cottage Country is.
Northern New Ontario.
Yeah, like sort of remote northern for us part of the province where everyone has their cottages.
Thunder Bay or something.
No, south of Thunder Bay, but
south of Thunder Bay. Okay.
Yeah, in the Muskoka area, so near Barrie.
Yeah, fun.
All right, drive. I'm staying at my cousin's cottage overnight on Saturday. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So we got some Cygnus Imperium. I see it's got 10 days to go.
10 days to go?
But yeah.
We're funded. I just got some proofs in, and they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I saw those. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm getting the proof of the foil cover later this week.
I'm planning on launching, I think, in about a week, if everything goes well. So,
yeah, pro tip. You don't launch over Easter and election and the trade war.
Right? It gets overtaken by everything, huh? Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm not entirely sure that it really, if any of that matters.
Oh, it matters.
Oh, it does.
Especially on
really,
Twitter.
Really does. You get just drowned out of the internet. There's only so much promotion you can do.
Yeah. But it depends on your audience, too, I suppose. But.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like my posts on social media actually get
God. Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry if they're annoying.
No. They're not annoying. It's just you don't see them very often. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, but I've been posting pretty regularly.
Yeah.
My trailer's actually really good. I put some money into that.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta get that done too.
9 people have watched it.
Oh shit.
But I'm posting. They are getting some shares and likes and whatever. But I'm sure there was just so much chatter online again, especially with the election.
Yeah.
That stuff got really drowned out. And I kind of suspect low key that places like Twitter are a bit more geographically siloed than maybe they used to be.
Maybe.
Which is the thing I've noticed on Threads, and it's not because of who I'm following or whatever. I'm mostly following other comics creators.
Sure.
But on the For You tab, it is all oh, are you a Canadian writer? Blah, 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 blah. And these people are great, don't get me wrong. But sure, but why isn't everyone just on hashtag comics? Why is it only feeding me local people? So that's weird. That's a thing I noticed.
Can't access StreamYard. Why not?
Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's using the wrong link or something.
Hold on, I'll go ahead and post the link again.
I mean, it was there.
It worked for everybody. But all right, here you go. I'll post it right there to the chat. There it is. There you go. Come on in. I'll wait a minute, and then we got some Lords of Iron.
Thank God.
There we go. Unrelated news.
I need to step away for a minute. I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes.
John,
start without me.
I am story editing a short film script right now.
Okay.
and I am 80% of the way to convincing the writer to let me bring it up to the stream.
Oh,
once
okay.
the editing. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I will have a short film to bring everyone pretty soon, which is going to be a ton of fun.
Okay.
Maybe while we're waiting for John.
wow.
Yeah.
Or do we want to just start reading?
He said not to wait, so let's just go.
All right.
I mean, I
Preston,
don't
your
want
call.
to miss
Your
a
stream.
critical page.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, go ahead.
All right. Page 6. Panel 1. The squad stands away from the door, which shows no signs of any heat stress. Agrippa supervises Alpha Knight Hess, who takes aim at the door with his over-the-shoulder longbow.
Well, we're young, Hess.
Yes, sir.
Panel 2. Hess' face shows his surprise as the doors slide open.
Wait, it's opening.
Panel 3. Trinity's hologram stands in the near open door.
Robert, you want to be?
I'll be Trinity.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Seriously, we allow your forces to retreat from Ceres, and this is how you repay us?
Panel 4. Agrippa stands before Trinity's hologram as he prepares to enter the complex.
Show us Taylor, and we'll call off the attack right here.
Invaders will be skewered.
Oh, it's on.
Mhm.
Page 7. Panel 1. Agrippa steps through the hologram of Trinity and inside the complex, with Hess and Cooper following close behind.
All right, crew, let's get some.
Hoorah!
Panel 2. Large panel. Foreground. 2V warriors moves.
Moves. Yeah, should be moves.
To oppose Agrippa as he enters the complex. Projected from 3 nodes in the ceiling, a holographic image of Taylor, an overweight, gender-fluid individual with dyed hair, takes shape between the adversaries. Avery's going to love that.
Yeah.
Background. Swarms of flies buzz around animal remains housed in 3 black urns set in the floor before a raised platform.
Look. I went to Origins last year and was exposed to many such individuals. I'm just saying, like, this is
Sure.
not. I met them. They're there.
Preston, the thing is, I know exactly what that look is.
Yeah.
Because I've met many such individuals as well.
Okay.
As have I. So you're good.
Those guys actually quite like Palace. So there's a there.
I know. Like they like my stuff. I don't talk too much except about my work.
That's on you, man.
Yeah.
One urn bears an upside down cruciform crescent. One bears an upside down open right hand with an eye embedded, and the last bears an upside down pentagram.
I see 2 hostiles. What's that projection? We need a Taylor. Who wants to be Taylor? Taylor's our villain.
Taylor.
Robert, do you want to be our villain?
Stop. You wanted to see a proof of life? Here I am, the human known as Taylor.
That's exactly the way a human would say it. I love it.
There you go.
Page 8. Panel 1. Agrippa faces off with the projection of Taylor.
Okay. No need for further casualties if you cooperate. I need to see the actual physical form of Taylor Manzini, who stepped into this complex 3 weeks ago.
Yes. The day the world took an interest in me.
Panel 2. Flashback. Wearing VR goggles and baggy clothes, Taylor walks along an urban sidewalk. Ahead of him, 3 homeless people, a young man and a middle-aged man and woman, dressed in tees and jeans, sit beside a rickety tent.
Huh.
I walked through your society, unseeing and unseen.
Panel 3. Flashback. Taylor's POV through the goggles. Panel resembles a VR headset. Taylor's VR reality shows video frames featuring a pudgy gender-fluid individual, which the goggles superimpose over and block out.
This cracks up there.
2 homeless men in their tent. I'm confused as to, is he seeing himself?
No.
Because that's his description of your description.
It is. It should. Another. A different. There we go. A different.
And like, also, is it porn? Yeah. Is it YouTube?
Yeah. It's like you. Yeah.
Say YouTube. or something, or YouTube like.
Well,
Yeah.
YouTube like
a
yes.
YouTube style talking head or video
Right,
essay.
Yeah.
Right, because otherwise it's just like the direction that I read was it just puts a body in front of these people. Which is so
there
weird.
we go.
Okay.
There we go. How about that?
We're fixed.
Featuring a YouTube style talking head of a different pudgy gender fluid.
There we go. So yeah, it's like the video frame covers the whole thing.
There we go.
Okay.
The homeless woman seems to poke her head outside the video frame to look to Taylor with her hand out as he approaches.
Spare some change, mister?
These new tailored hormone regimes are a real game changer.
Huh.
Avery is going to love this.
She's going to love it.
Increasingly, I viewed my physical form as a prison from which I sought liberation.
Panel 4, flashback. Taylor's POV through the goggles. The beautiful blue bunny sky can barely be seen through the cluttered VR headset. Again, VR headset desktop / interface / whatever.
So he's wearing the goggles, right? Like,
yeah. So like stuff is blocking his view, right?
yes.
Yeah. So we want to say that there's stuff again.
Okay.
As the video frame Taylor's watching gets shunted out of the way by an icon of an older white woman whose named mom in Taylor's address book joined with the WHO''S.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
There. How about that?
Comma before whose, comma after book.
Okay.
Wait.
Comma after woman.
Out of the way by an icon of an older white woman.
Comma.
You want a comma right there.
Oh yeah.
Who's named mom, comma.
In Taylor's address book. No, in Taylor's address book is fine. Comma after book is fine.
Okay.
We just need to separate these ideas. There we go. So she's getting a phone call from his mom. Cool.
Okay.
Call from Charlotte Mazzini.
Send a voicemail.
Page 9. Panel 1. Taylor sits alone in his apartment eating a bowl of cereal in front of his computer screen, around which sits a variety of prescription pill bottles and personal lubricants. On his computer screen, a video of a well-dressed newswoman talks to the viewers. Over her shoulder, an image of Trinity. The top of his monitor also sports a small video camera and a naked anime woman figurine.
Is John back yet?
Yeah, he said
John is back.
John, you want to be our news anchor?
Sure. In addition to the construction of a visitor center in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, the ceasefire agreement with the V's also allowed them a virtual ambassador chatbot, which humans can directly interface with.
Cool.
Panel 2. Hold on, this is a new page, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Panel 2. Taylor looks at the news anchor woman on his computer screen with growing interest.
President Gonzalez warns users that to avoid downloading Trinity's new app and labels it both a risk to security as well as mental health.
Like the rest of humanity, I was lost in a sea of the virtual.
That shouldn't be there.
What's that?
President warns users to avoid downloading Trinity's new app.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a sentence.
Yeah, that shouldn't be in that sentence.
I agree 100%.
Okay.
What?
Also, I suspect
President Gonzalez warns users
to avoid.
That does, you did that. Okay, yeah. To avoid.
The narration might want to be on panel 1. You want to figure out what you're doing with that because you had it on a couple of. The narration came early on the pages previously.
Okay.
But that also might just be a style thing, like see what works in the art, but just it might need to move.
Yeah.
Panel 3, the projected avatar of Taylor stands opposed to an incredulous Agrippa.
And why not? The human's monkey-descended genome is horribly out of step with the virtual world. Why not take the next step in evolution and become an entirely virtual being whose physical form can be custom-tailored?
Oh, I love that.
Well, we're under orders to inspect whatever's left of the physical you, and we're not leaving until we do.
Oh, dun dun. Page 10, panel 1, large panel. The hologram of Taylor watches excitedly. Panel 2, Inset into 1. The two V warriors approach the three black urns featuring inverted religious symbols. A white light from above highlights each urn, around which swarms of flies buzz.
Very well, Commander. Give me a minute to put something on.
Panel 3, Inset into 1. Each of the two V warriors dump the viscera contents of one of the urns into a black plastic bag. Yes, into a black plastic bags.
Right.
As the flies continue to swarm.
Sorry. Black flies. Yeah.
Okay. Flesh and blood, just like you.
Panel 4, an angry Agrippa stands opposed to the projection of Taylor.
What the hell's going on here?
They're creating my physical form so you can go home happy.
Pausing for a sec. Might be interesting to consider your panel layouts, because I feel like Just Like You deserves its own panel.
Okay. All right.
Robert, this is a comics thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like your timing for the dialogue and the narration like that, you got to do it with panels.
Okay. All right, sure.
But that could be interesting, Preston. Panel 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, panel 5. The projection of Taylor looks on as the two V warriors put the finishing touches on the macabre creation. One warriors places a multicolored wig on the top bag. I love this. While the other attaches a tablet-shaped blank monitor onto its face. I love this.
Yeah. Certainly looks like how I used to feel.
Page 11. Panel 1. Beaming with pride, the projection of Taylor supervises a V warrior as it grabs a silvery metal staff, glowing with arcane runes, as it descends from an open panel in the ceiling. Oh my god, is he Gandalf?
It's like techno stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Techno
techno wizard. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Futuristic Gandalf, whatever.
Yeah.
All it needs is a spine.
Panel 2, one V warrior plunges the staff into the middle of the three bags, as the other warrior holds them in position. Squish. Panel 3, the projection of Taylor stands in front of the two V warriors who hold their bizarre construction between them. Agrippa, Hess, and Cooper stand disgusted defiance.
What in the actual hell was this bizarre demonstration about?
It may not seem like it, Commander, but this bag of guts has just as much life and personality as I had before I walked in here. You want proof of life? Well, here it is.
Panel 4. Hess looks on in horror as Taylor directs the V warriors throw.
Two throw. I'm sorry. So my apologies.
It's fine. The black bags of guts towards him. Agrippa and Cooper ready their weapons to fire.
Here, get a good look.
Page 12, panel 1. With disgust on his face, Hess deflects the thrown bag of guts with his outstretched hands, causing the bag to rip and spill its contents.
Yeah.
The metal staff, its glowing runes, now painted red with blood, moves towards Hess, powered by a magnetic attraction.
Who's Hess? Ugh, stay back. There we go.
Panel 2.
No, Larry was
Bloody.
Hess. Larry.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Ugh, stay back. There we go.
The bloody, glowing magnetic staff, Hess's armor. Yeah,
What
it does.
It matches itself too. There we go.
What the?
Panel 3. The staff activates, forcing bolts of electricity through Hess's armor and body. Zert. Panel 4. Agrippa orders the surviving members of his team to fire on the V warriors as the projection of Trinity watches.
They got Hess. Take out those warriors.
Page 13.
Yeah.
Panel 1.
Like the last
in which
one
nothing happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, here you go.
Panel 2. Panel 1. Agrippa and Cooper look on in shock at the body of Hess. The tablet that adorned the face of the black plastic abomination uses mechanical tentacles extending out of its rear to crawl towards the corpse of Hess, where the metal staff clings, continuing to shock the twitching corpse.
Hess. We need a Cooper.
He
John.
got fried.
There we go.
Yeah.
Panel 2. The tablet crawls onto Hess's face.
What the?
That's not what you wrote.
What
Oh,
that?
What? Oh, you're right. Sorry.
What that? Yeah.
Panel 3, Cooper and Agrippa stare in horror as the legs of the robot burrow into the eyes. I don't think that's the word you were looking
Burrow.
How
for.
do
And
you-
descend down the mouth of the corpse of Hess.
Okay.
Burrow
Shouldn't
is
it be with
B-U-R-O.
ellipses between the and the question mark?
Where we're at?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yes, but
That's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they should also have an exclamation point at the end because it's actually an exclamation.
Yeah, it's an
Like that.
It's question mark exclamation point.
Okay.
That depends who you ask, but
It's
sure,
a
we'll go
yelled
with that.
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, this is
Yeah,
art.
it depends.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
Art,
how
not
you format
grammar.
it.
Burrow, like that, right? There we go.
Yeah, sure.
We need
There you
Agrippa.
go.
Terrorism by way of public corpse desecration is also forbidden by treaty.
Panel 4.
Yeah,
The legs of the
so many
robot hold
rules.
fast to the head, securing the blank screen as the face of a nightmare abomination, which begins to jerk as robot legs begin to stimulate the nervous system of Hess's corpse.
Stand back. Could be a trap.
obviously.
Page 14. Panel 1. The screen atop Hess's face activates to show the face of Flash Taylor. Okay.
Yeah, Flash.
A demonic countenance of malice displaying multiple cybernetic face protrusions. Does he look like the dead guy?
Is this the same person?
I mean, it's his like super villain form, but sure.
So the same
Okay.
face shape?
Yes, the same face.
I feel like you should mention that to the artist.
Okay.
Like
Maybe.
formerly Taylor
Okay.
from this entire scene.
This is gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because he used to look like
behold.
the same guy in
Yeah.
the same scene, right?
Yeah.
Now, see, you've got Taylor spelled differently. That
Yeah, well,
confused me.
he's now the flesh Taylor.
Ah, I see what you're doing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Behold, I live.
Panel 2. Cooper takes aim at Flesh Taylor with his large caliber machine gun, while Agrippa remains toe stunned to know what to do.
Permission to fire, Commander.
Panel 3. The Flesh Taylor sits up onto the floor.
You asked for a proof of life, Commander. I'm providing you all the essentials.
All
I
right.
think that would be better as a question. Like you asked for proof of life,
yeah,
Commander.
Commander.
Aren't I
Okay.
providing you all the essentials, or something
Okay.
along the,
All
I don't know. I
right.
just think it would
I'm
be more,
easy. I'm
more
easy.
fun if he's like, "Aren't I doing
Or
everything
like,
you
are
wanted?"
you satisfied yet? Or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I-
that
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Have I satisfied your curiosity? Dun dun dun.
All right.
Sure.
fair enough. Anyway,
Good.
that's as far as I got with Lords of Iron issue 2.
Okay, well, we had some space marines going into a secret alien base looking for a missing person,
Yeah.
and they totally found that person in a horrifying way.
Yeah.
So if that's what you were going for, you probably got there.
Okay.
Yep.
What does Larry have to say about this? Nice.
I would
thing.
say yes. There's some really going to be some very, very fun art, I think. So that'll be great. Yeah.
And Robert,
I think I like it. The way I read it, it feels it's being played for a significant amount of humor, and I really like that juxtaposed against the gory nature of it. It's like extra funny.
it is the secret of funny books.
It is. Yeah.
John.
I know I missed the first part, but yeah, this was, I believe, a rewrite from the last time you presented, and it was
Yes.
a lot better.
Mhm.
I remember last
The
time you were
dark
like, you
co-
wanted to see more Taylor. I gave you more Taylor.
There you go.
that the dark
We also
comedy
wanted to see
really
fewer
works.
Space Marines, and we
I
got
feel
fewer
like.
Space Marines. That was a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like the dark comedy. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that really landed, and it really helped. I think same thing Robert said. It was a really interesting juxtaposition of the horror with the comedic aspects.
I actually laughed. I mean, genuinely laughed when I saw what the setup was, and then basically the dialogue becomes a great punchline.
Yeah, I mean, this was set up and it was paid off like any good horror or
Yeah.
joke.
Yep.
I really liked the way you linked virtual reality and transhumanism in this.
Mhm.
That's actually a really interesting connection that's worth exploring more, especially for sci-fi. So you have successfully done
I
a
think the
cyberpunk.
future is all about transhumanism. I think it's the future.
I'm saying nice
Think
things.
so?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you've very successfully done a cyberpunk, Preston.
All right,
now
thank
this is a cyberpunk book.
Okay.
You did it.
Yay.
So way to go. In terms of constructives,
Go ahead.
I would love to see more of Taylor's personality, especially through the flashbacks, and I'd like to see an explicit tying together of his transhumanism and VR addictions.
Okay.
I think those are worth leaning into a little bit more. And I think there's a little bit of repetition of like, oh, you wanted to see me? Here I am. You wanted to see me? Here I am.
I was going to say
That you can work around by having Taylor actually have a point as to, like, for example, no, look, the V's have given me everything I wanted. Now I can do this. Now I can kill you all. Like, he's not chewing enough scenery.
Okay. Fair enough.
If he's really the villain, let's have him chew some scenery.
Okay.
Because I think that's where you were going with this. And by the time you start throwing a bag of guts at people, like, you really got to lead into that. It's ridiculous in the best possible way. So, you know, let's like really stick the landing with that.
Sure.
John. Constructives.
I don't think I'm going to be able to add this to my list of PG-13 books that I sell at conventions.
I mean, is Palace a PG-13 book that you can sell at conventions?
No.
Yeah.
There's no nudity in the book.
I think Palace is
Nudity
totally
is not a requirement
No.
for an R rating.
Okay.
It's true. It's true. But
Yeah.
Sexy and sex are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Robert, constructives.
Well, I agree with the same thing, that there was too much of a repetition of the threat. You know, is this what you wanted to see? Is this what you wanted to see? And so it, basically cut it back, maybe soft pedal it the first time it said, and then really knife him in the end when he says it, because that's a strong finish.
Larry.
knife him. I don't know if I can add too much to that. I think it's fairly well written, and it's enjoyable. So that's the main point, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you can solve a lot with some narration and just changing up some of the dialogue at this point. Like, your pacing for the panels was really good. There was like maybe one or two I would consider cutting, but like that was fine. But yeah, it like implicate him in the V's is, I think, the way to go. Like, say what he wants, but then like, why is he with these people?
Yeah.
That's the other question to answer, right?
Okay.
Because like,
Faster, more
fine, he got what he want. He's a bag of guts and some flies, and also a horrifying Hellraiser computer screen. Okay, but like, why isn't he terrorizing the public right now? Like, why is he still with these people? Is still a question to answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
But, the terrorizing. You bring up an interesting point when it's a homeless woman reaches out of the video screen.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to be able to, terrorize a shitload of people.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean that if that were the way to terrorize the community, and it's coming out of everybody's monitor, different experiences. It goes into the family, living room. It happens at the police station, and it happens in the store that has a television on at the bar or something like that. Reaching out of the TV.
I think I was surprised to hear a misreading of some poorly worded art direction there, which we resolved on the stream.
Yeah, it's that. Today. Yeah, he's wearing VR goggles, which like superimpose basically browser windows on top of what you're seeing, and
so he's like position them to avoid.
Why wouldn't be a world where they're all wearing those Google glasses or something similar to that? Where that would happen.
Yeah.
Except
that's a good question, Preston. Is everyone wearing VR goggles, or just this guy?
I mean, clearly from a story you have this guy where I don't think the homeless people necessarily need VR.
So it's
although that would be kind of cool,
kind of uncommon technology, or like people tend not to flaunt it or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's another thing. Like, all right. Oh, I went super deep into VR. While everyone else was having fun and living their lives. Like, you have to tell us that.
Yeah.
Right, because this is sci-fi. We don't know what this world is like.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you've got
you
all those
could-
pages, and you've got lots of room for narration because the video frame sort of framing is going to give you some negative space. So you've got room for it.
Okay.
I was going
Go.
to say you could lean into, like in the early 2000s when MMOs really started to get popular. I know you were probably out of video games by then, or
Yes.
for the most part. But when they really got popular, it was a very common thing for people to get emotionally lost into these types of games where
Yeah.
they became increasingly disconnected with the real world outside of it. So that's another thing you could potentially lean into is stuff like that. I mean, it's still kind of a thing with people getting lost being online.
TikTok. They have a warning on it. They have a health warning on TikTok. Don't get
So,
too
so what you're
immersed.
saying, John, is he needs to watch Dot Hack, basically. So
No, what I'm saying is
Not
there's
actually
some,
so good.
yeah,
I don't know what that is.
it's
What
an
I'm saying
anime,
is
yeah.
though, you can lean into some real world and real life situations sprinkled with a little bit of that fictional coding, and I think you could really hit some good, strong emotional beats doing that. Because I think it's there. I think that feeling is already kind of in existence, and I think if you can connect with that, I think it'll really help make that idea of what you're trying to do with Taylor becoming so lost into that world that he loses himself. I think there's some solid parallels that you could play into that could help.
Okay.
Yeah, we sticking the landing with Taylor is definitely the way to go, and leaning into the themes you've already brought up is the way to get there.
All right, cool. Well, glad you liked it so far. Let's see. We have a bunch of other scripts today. We have
Serial
Robert's
twin?
here.
No.
Let's take a look at Blood Legacy. How about that?
Okay.
All right, Robert, you want to tell us about Blood Legacy again? Is this
Sure? Let me do the setup. The last time we left,
This is the basement one.
we left Ulysses wandering in the desert with
this is the vampire one.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
with a staff with a vampire ankh on the top of it.
Yeah.
And then we make a major change. We leave the year 2043, or excuse me, the year 43, and we come into the early part of the 2000s. So
What year was that prelude set in?
the prelude was set in 33 BCE.
No, the
Right, because we started
see,
talking about assassinating Christ.
No,
That-
the one
right.
the prelude before assassinating Christ.
That was the container yard where
That was
Ulysses
present day, wasn't it?
Future
was escaping a mad crowd, leapt across from the gantry all the way across the bay onto a ship that was leaving with a container that
when he
had
was
all
a
his
Dracula
belongings.
named Ulysses.
A ninja
Dracula.
Dracula. Yeah.
So was that in the future time that you're going to be taking us to now, or was that further in the future?
No, we're not quite up to when he was there. So we're about
So container time is present, right?
the container time is present. This scene that we're going to read
Right.
now is the early part of it. So about 15 years ahead of that. So
15 years before the container scene.
correct.
Yes, that was okay.
All right. How about I read the narration parts and somebody takes the parts? Is that good?
I'll take a break. Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
Okay. Genesis 22:2. Take your son, your only son whom you love, and sacrifice him. Exterior, Renville County, Minnesota, early 21st century, late afternoon. In a remote edge of Olaf Bathory's, age 40, farm, he and Doc Willard, age 60, the Renville County large animal veterinarian, stand over a calving cow. The animal gasps with convulsive breaths. Doc Willard reaches into the cow and grasps the calf's head. Pulling gently, the head emerges, but the calf does not drop. Her final heave, with the help of Olaf, the calf's hooves appear, and she falls free. The small, Undersized calf bleats for her mother. The mother cow drops to her knees and moans mournfully. Doc looks over to Olaf.
The mother will need to be put down. She will not recover. It's best she is butchered for meat you can still get.
Doc looks Olaf in the eye.
Sorry. That cow should not have been bred. She's too old. You know that, Olaf. The calf will not make it.
Olaf slowly responds.
Madison will have to nurse the calf. She has the touch.
Doc takes out his tag applicator to attach the button.
I am tagging her now. I'm also registering the death of the mother with the county, so take care of her today.
Doc drops the applicator into his kit bag.
As for the calf, if she reaches maturity, I will have a claim to pay my bill. I know it's been rough, Olaf, rough for everyone these past 2 years, but your carelessness, well, I can't afford to support bad farming.
Olaf stands silent.
What a dick.
Then
I love this
I
guy.
know, Doc's rough.
Olaf stands silent, then turns to Doc. Olaf.
Do what you need to, Doc. I'll do what I need to survive. Me and the girls.
Madison, age 12, and her young sisters look on from the gate. Olaf turns and hollers.
Preston,
Nettie, get over here.
Okay, you're moving it. Madison whispers to her sisters. We need a Madison.
We do need a Madison.
Stay here. Oh, okay. Go, John.
Yeah,
Go.
stay here.
Yeah.
You got it. Got the
She runs to her father, kneels to pet the mother cow. Olaf speaks without emotion.
Get the bolt gun and the CO2 tank. Bring the utility tractor. She can't make it to the slaughter slab on her own.
What about the baby?
She is now your responsibility, and we need her to make it.
you will need to hand feed her for the next 4 months. She can't process cud right now. Maybe never.
Madison pets the calf and dries her with a large rag.
Get on, get.
Madison carries the newborn to the gate. Her sisters, ages 7 and 9, are excited, jumping up and down.
I'm sorry.
What do you get?
How much does a newborn calf weigh?
About
I have no idea.
40 pounds. Running
Wow.
And a
roughly.
12-year-old girl can carry 40 pounds?
Well, sure. She's a
Farm girl.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna name her? Can I take her to school? There you go.
I'm naming her Orphan. And no, not school. Maybe at the county fair.
The calf looks up and bleats.
Madison, now.
Madison returns, driving the utility tractor. Olaf takes the bolt gun and attaches it to the CO2 tank. He bleeds the line of air, tests the gun.
Go join your sisters.
Madison stays, pets the mother cow. Doc Willard looks at her.
Come with me, child.
Madison is at the gate with the newborn calf.
Feed her
her-
colostrum.
Yeah.
Get it from the dams in your herd. First feeding must be the next few hours, then 12 hours later, every 12 hours for 2 weeks. No more, no less.
Doc Willard looks at his pocket watch, then places it back in his vest. He takes a moment and looks at Madison and her sisters. They are fussing over the calf. Doc gives a disapproving look.
It's not a pet.
In the distance, Madison watches her father lean over the mother, sees the body jerk, and then hears the delayed pop of the bolt gun. She instinctively covers the eyes of the calf. Job 4:13-16. Disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night. Interior, Falcon Heights, Minnesota, night. The Minnesota Junior Farmer Arena filled with noisy fans. The loudspeaker announcer echoes.
And now for the winning heifer in this year's State Farm Orphan raised by Madison Bathory.
The crowd cheers. Madison, now age 15, accepts the trophy, waves to the cheering crowd, comes over to the stands to show her father and Doc Willard. Expressionless, Olaf looks over the trophy. He hands Madison a $10 bill.
Take your sisters for cotton candy and ice cream.
The competition judge, age 50, hands Olaf the $1,000 prize money. Doc Willard looks at the cash.
Olaf.
Olaf interrupts.
I know, Doc. I know.
Olaf peels off several bills, faces Doc Willard, and hands him the money.
The debt is paid.
Doc looks Olaf in the eye.
I wasn't going to ask for the money. You have something more important than cash. It was the care Madison gave.
Aww.
Oh, this is not going to go somewhere good.
Doc continues.
She has the gift. Almost magical. Saving the calf. You raised a real farmer.
Olaf,
And I want to marry her.
Olaf, stone-faced, looks at the prize money in his hand.
You set the terms. I paid the debt.
Olaf looks Doc in the eye.
That is farming too.
No, so that's Olaf. Never mind. Sorry about that.
Okay. Exterior, State Farm Midway at night. The girls spend the $10 on deep-fried Twinkies. Madison's trophy is sky high with ice cream, now drips down the sides from the summer heat. The lights on the Ferris wheel and the carousel make Madison dizzy. She smiles in this dreamlike state, and all the lights twinkle with bright colors. Her sisters are bragging about her to every person they pass. Madison's face glows with pride. Interior, demo area, night. The trio returns to the arena. A small crowd watches the exsanguination demonstration. The sisters shout in unison.
Maddie, look. Maddie, look.
Madison screams in horror. She sees Orphan hanging by a single hoof from the rafters, being drained. Tears stream down. She runs onto the stage, slips on a pool of blood growing under Orphan, covered in red, head to toe. Madison looks up at her father. He is showered with the blood from Orphan. Olaf speaks in a thundering voice.
I am a good farmer.
He looks down at Madison.
Get me the bolt gun.
Madison screams.
No!
In slow motion, Olaf smiles. His teeth are bright. A glow appears around his head. Olaf raises the bolt gun to his temple and pulls the trigger. The pop sounds, and Madison jerks awake. Interior jail cell night. Cellmate number 1.
Third night in a row, you wake up screaming.
Madison's head is on the pillow. She is breathing hard. Beads of sweat run down her face. She throws off the cover and sits on the edge of her bed. Her cellmate, 28, looks down from the top bunk and whispers,
You keep waking me up, and your ass is getting kicked. Entiendes, para?
Madison grunts, reaches under her mattress and fumbles for a stash of cigarettes. She carefully rolls the cigarette in her fingers to loosen the tobacco, fills the end of the cigarette with keef, and strikes a match with her thumbnail. The cellmate watches her light the cigarette.
The guards patrol in 10 minutes. Get us caught and I cut you. In the face. Lo entiendes, pucha?
Ignoring the threat, Madison takes a deep hit, muffles the cough in the crux of her elbow. Bending over the toilet, she blows the smoke coordinated with a flush, then uses her pillow to wipe the mist from her face. Laying back down, one last cough, muffled, and Madison slowly falls back to sleep. Superimpose. Isaiah 30:20. And your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, This is the way, walk in it. Dissolve to 3 years later. We are now in present time for everybody. Exterior, Everglades, Clementina's Container Corral, day. Wearing a colorful pleated skirt, a patterned blouse, and a long apron, an old woman eyes the group of 3 coming through the front gate of Clementina's Container Corral. Madison, Hannah, 23, and Nolan, 22, walk toward the office porch. A tattered rope stretches between pillars supporting a decaying roof. Clothing draped over the rope dries in the sun. A ragged Romanian football flag covers the windows. Strands of plaited garlic hang from the entire length of the porch. The visitors look at each other and giggle. Nolan.
She looks like a gypsy.
Romani. They're Romani. Gypsy is like using the N-word.
Madison looks over at the old woman, age 70, who sits on a ragged couch.
We're here to pick up furniture from the auction.
An old woman fans herself with a folded racing form, finally speaks with a heavy Eastern European
A
accent.
different old woman?
Yes. Nope, same old woman. Sorry.
So the old woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have receipt with container number?
Madison pulls the receipt from her jeans pocket and holds it out.
You expect me to get up?
Are you Clementina?
Clementina is dead many years. You want me to raise her from the tomb?
We just want our furniture.
Hannah grabs the receipt from Madison and walks up the stairs to the woman.
Do you make sure the containers are sprayed for spiders and ants? And what about rats?
The woman stares down at Hannah.
The swamp crabs take care of the rats. Spiders are your problem.
We can spray for the spiders and ants. Let's get going.
Container FF6.
The woman stops reading and slowly looks up at Madison.
Vano.
Old woman continues staring at Madison, a man aged 50 to 60 with a long gray beard and numerous facial piercings, cracks open the ragged screen door. The woman gestures towards Madison and her friends in a lowered voice says,
Have Timbo take them to area E1, container FF6.
The screen door creaks open. Timbo, age 10, without a word, gestures to Madison and the others to follow him. A small, unkempt mutt scurries out on Timbo's heels. Nolan reaches over to pet the animal, but is met with a low growl. The dog limps, circling the group as they walk down the dirt path. The area alongside the path is muddy, with stacks of containers sunk into the ground. At the end of the storage canyons, a rusty container stands alone. The boy gestures towards the container. He moves no further. The dog whimpers, stays close to Timbo. Looking at the stack of containers with water halfway around them, Nolan breaks an awkward silence.
Good thing ours is on high ground. Those will be underwater after the rains.
Hannah shrugs.
I guess.
The group approaches the container as they walk. A dark cloud covers the sun. A shadowless world takes hold. Nolan shouts back to Timbo.
How do we open this thing? The latch is welded over.
Timbo points to an old rickety metal tool shed. Nolan struggles with the misshapen door. He pulls one more time and it partially opens.
Ouch.
Nolan looks at his hand.
I found a sledgehammer and chisel. I cut my hand.
The blood drips onto the hammer. Nolan pulls out the red bandana he wears to keep the hair out of his eyes. Timbo's eyes get big when he sees the blood and runs away. Looking back, he whistles for the dog to follow. Nolan wraps his bandana over the wound.
Wow, sure is bleeding a lot for such a small scratch.
I'm sure you'll live. You'll have plenty of blood. A little scratch isn't gonna kill you.
Yes,
But just in
plenty
case-
of blood.
But just in case, get this open now.
They all giggle. The three of them gather around the lock. Madison holds the chisel. Hannah grips the door handle.
Don't miss.
He raises the hammer, misses the chisel, slams it down on the latch. The welded latch breaks into pieces. Metal fragments hit all over the group. Each of them has small scratches. Every scratch oozes blood.
We are the walking
wounded.
Yes.
Hannah says shit. Hannah watches the slow bleed from her wound. Madison freezes. She holds her hand up, signaling the others to be quiet.
Wait, quiet. I heard something inside.
All right. Those are our pages. We have a really traumatic scene. And we have Erwin Tang joining us. Welcome, Erwin. All the way from Austin, Texas. How are you today?
I can barely hear you guys, so I don't know why when I'm on the phone I can barely hear you guys. So if you ask me a question, I probably won't hear it unless I'm really paying attention.
Okay.
Wear a headset.
Pay attention.
Yeah, they're all right. Well, welcome. All right.
Welcome.
We had a pretty gripping scene there with. I mean, wow, we got our. I guess an important character. I don't know if it's the main character, but certainly an important character. We see her her upbringing. We know she's a good farmer. We know she ends up in jail later on in life. And a dream sequence, we think maybe there was some trauma involving the calf she raised. And she understands current political correctness in regards to the proper terminology of the Romani people. And they're and they're there to get something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but you know, it's 10 pages.
I mean, it's a box with a vampire in it, dude.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool. All right.
Is it?
We don't know that yet. Well, we kind of
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah,
paid
we
attention for
saw
the first
him
5
on page
pages.
2
yeah.
go into the crate through a magical mystery portal door that opens up.
The crucifix gave it away to you.
Through
Yes,
the
I
magic
remember.
of paying attention,
All
we
right.
know
Mm.
it's the container the vampire wants.
Very good.
Cool,
Okay.
the bride of
Yes, because I
Dracula.
remember the Final Fantasy VI comment that Larry made the last time we presented it.
I did.
Hey,
At least I think it
No,
was Larry that made
It, wa-
that.
it wasn't me, but I wasn't here
Oh.
last time.
it may have been me.
Might have
but
been
yeah,
you, Danny.
But I was
Somebody made
thinking
a
the
Final
same
Fantasy
thing.
VI
Yeah.
reference on container FF6.
You know,
Yeah.
I've been watching lots of videos, and they say that the movies, the crop of movies this year are not doing particularly well, and like original movies or like Blumhouse's latest thing is kind of eh. But then Sinners is doing great. So vampires, hooray vampires!
And
good
vampires
on-
rarely do badly.
Yeah.
Oh, is Sinners about vampires?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't keep up too much. So when I don't pay attention to movies until they come on like streaming.
Yeah.
I did hear that Sinners. I saw on social media that Sinners was doing well, but I know nothing about it because I don't really follow them. But
All right.
now that I know what it's
Mhm.
about, I'm going to definitely check it out when it comes on Netflix or whatever it comes on.
Whatever
Just
streaming
being on
service
topic,
you wish
I'm
to.
gonna say I really liked that entire, like, those 2 farming scenes were great. They were really compelling drama that did not require supernatural bullshit. They were mysterious. They brought you into the world. The characters reacted with each other really, really well. And I guess you've now written the beginning of a vampire movie. At the end of
That's
So
up
that was
next.
also successfully that.
Yeah. So, and that's yeah, those are all clues, as John pointed out last time, you know, that the crucifix was a dead giveaway with the reflecting light. I hadn't actually imagined that. I thought that was pretty subtle, but no.
We're reading
Well,
yours.
I
How
also
Larry will
just-
say things.
I just happen to catch on to stuff like that. But
There you
you
go.
know, I'm not always. Not everybody will. I think some people. I think. Anyway, we'll talk about pages presented today, not the pages presented 2 weeks ago.
All right.
Larry, do you have nice things to say?
Well, no, it's very well paced. I like the switching between, like, you know, a memory and the dream, and then to like a flashback, and then into present day. The pacing's really good. So yeah, I missed the first part of it, so I'm a little lost, but I'm trying to keep up with it. So
We're actually within a bigger flashback right now.
yeah, I see that. Yeah, so it's a series of flashbacks, so it's lost. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, no, it's good.
A Chris Nolan movie.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's a Christopher Nolan movie. Yeah, there you go.
See, Robert. So you got to get a hold of Chris Nolan and see if he wants to do a vampire movie.
There you
Yeah,
you
go.
go.
perfect.
He
Another
should do a
memento.
vampire
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, he should do a vampire movie. Yeah.
All right. Erwin, I don't know if you heard much of the story. Did you hear much of the story? I'm going to assume he did not. All right. Constructive.
Bye,
Bye,
Erwin.
Erwin.
All right. I mean, Danny is probably more on the ball and able to follow it. But I got a little bit lost there when, like, okay, she was a kid, now she's in jail, and I'm like, wait a minute, how is she like killing stuff for the gypsies, or the Romanis? I got a little lost there.
Yeah, I've got thoughts about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
So firstly, yeah. So I've got three things to say. The first, sort of touching on what we did last week, we are currently inside a flashback that started around the birth of Christ. We are fast forwarding through that flashback, and now someone has hit the shuffle button on the CD player of the flashback. This is a structural problem that is not like, there's a version of this that works, and it's not this version. If you have time to read a book, go read this book called In the Skin of a Lion by Michael Ondaatje. He's the guy who wrote The English Patient.
Yeah.
That is, it's more historical than fantastic. And I apologize for everyone because it's CanCon. But if you want to know how to weave dream sequences into a really episodic sort of like picking up memories here and there narrative, In the Skin of a Lion is fucking amazing. Highly recommend it. Also, it's properly literature and it's really quite good. You'll probably enjoy it anyways. So structurally, like, people like that, like, you have to tell us where we are in relation to other stuff, like, ever, or else, like, I mean, it could work in a film, but you want the option to cut it in editing. You should at least have some of that connecting tissue in your screenplay.
Yeah.
So that was item one. Item two, yeah, like I did still get lost even in this. The vampire thing is cute. I don't even care at this point. We've had a vampire thing for 5 of like 20 pages in total, and it is the least interesting thing about any of this. So if that's not what you were going for, you fucked up. And you know, having that, like, to be fair, for some reason, and this is sort of related to my third constructive, I do, when you named the Olaf, when you named him Bathory of all fucking things, I was like, someone's bathing in blood today. So you paid that off, but I was actually 50-50 on whether or not you were going to do it when I first read that name, because that is not what you're doing with Odysseus, the Dracula. So whatever, Ulysses. It's the same character. All right. So Ulysses the Dracula is not being Ulysses, but Olaf Bathory is bathing in blood like Lady Bathory. Come on, dude, pick a lane. And you know, like, either you're doing this and you're like using these names to have meaning, or you're not. And right now you haven't made a decision there. And actually, it's really distracting, because it took me a hot minute to realize that you weren't bathing anyone in blood anytime soon. And then you just suddenly threw that at us. I was like, oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Right. So like the shock of, oh, I guess we're now killing the calf, which like, it kind of came out of nowhere. You know that, right? So like it was only paid off because you named a guy Bathory. Right. Do all the scenes have blood in them? Yeah. Is that vampire-y? Yeah. Am I following? Do I even know who the main character is at this point? No.
That is a problem, because I'm in the same boat.
Because either it's Ulysses, or it's
Madison.
Olaf, or it's Madison, or it's Nolan. Nolan's gonna get at, but like Dracula's gonna eat the hell out of Nolan. But we're 20 pages in, and like there's no.
I feel so typical. You've already predicted half of it.
Because he's opening the coffin. Of course he's gonna get at. I've seen a horror movie before.
It's vampires, so like, yeah.
And then Madison's gonna run away. Probably the friend is gonna die. All Gypsy's gonna be like, you shouldn't have opened the coffin with the Dracula, you idiot. That's what Gypsy's.
You dummy.
I'll go down the stairs.
Dracula,
yeah, right.
I have so many English degrees, like, and I'm not, and that's not a dick wave. Like, my point is, like, you know what the genre is supposed to do, and you're not resisting it enough, or you're resisting it too much, and I'm not sure which. Like, is this a story about Odysseus finding the bride of Dracula who has been locked in the shipping container for millennia? That's a good story. Is this a story about Madison finding Dracula? Cool. Why are we starting with murdering Jesus? Like, you know,
What?
like,
Murdering Jesus is very hot in the writers group right now.
Is it though? Yeah.
It is.
Well,
actually, it is,
serial
yeah.
twins haven't shown up to
Oh
do
my
it yet,
God.
but we know that they're going to be.
That's a
Anyway,
future
so
story.
that's
but
it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you were doing some stuff really well, but like could have gone farther. Rito Dachi, or I don't. There are other people who do stuff like that, but he's the one I was thinking of because like your overall tone sounds like him. The entire farm scene sounds like Ondachi. Hopefully, you'll read him and tell me I'm right. And then yeah, like, we don't know what the story is because we're still in flashback time. We don't have a through line yet, and that's going to cause you problems real fast. And then yeah, watch your literary references, like either use them or don't. John or Larry?
Yeah.
I hope I've given you guys like lots to go off of.
No.
I was not
No,
suggesting fixes or anything. I was like, here's
You just
the
sucked all
story.
the oxygen out of the room.
No.
I will just. I know Danny already basically touched on it, but I will second. We are 20 pages in. I don't know who the main character is. I feel like that's a little bit of a problem. And if I signed up for a vampire movie and I haven't seen one in 20 minutes, I'm also a little confused.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
So, yeah, I just feel like it's a little. It seems like it's wandering aimlessly in search of a plot, and I don't know what the plot is. And I feel like by 20 pages in, I should have an idea of what the plot is.
Fair enough.
All right, Larry.
Well, I
we
think
have
they.
the Great Wizard Gatsby, which I love. I love this title. That's
Okay.
You're only saying that because he's using your character.
Yeah.
It's shameless. Anyway,
Now, you know, there's nothing wrong with a bit of fan fiction.
no.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
some of the best, certainly most lucrative works in the past, 10 years anyway, have been fan fictions.
It's true, and some of those are vampire
true.
movies too, technically.
Yes, and some of those are vampire. Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
I mean,
I'm just building off of my other scripts. That's all I'm doing. So, yeah.
All right, Larry, who do you want to narrate?
Oh crap! Let's go with John.
John.
Some
Page
John
11,
narration.
panel
Yeah.
1, medium shot. Gatsby holds the side of his face where he was slapped, looking up in confusion toward Thea.
Why?
Panel 2, medium shot. Gustav bends down, grabbing Gatsby by the waist to help him stand. While scolding Thea, standing in the foreground, Gatsby is still in shock, but more lucid.
I'll do
Robert.
Gustav. Yeah. Thea, we are trying to help him not further assault the poor lad.
can't argue with the results.
Panel 3, medium shot. Gustav helps Gatsby balance on his feet. Gatsby turns his head to acknowledge him.
Thank you.
Think nothing of it.
Panel 4, close-up. Gatsby looks down, lost in grief.
Everyone is gone, aren't they?
Panel 5, close-up. Gustav places his hand on Gatsby's shoulder.
Yes.
Larry,
Is that dialogue?
Yeah,
it's
Larry's
dialogue, yeah.
terrible at formatting.
Okay.
And
But you
even
aren't
though he
alone.
has
Join
seen
my legion.
dozens of scripts, he still
Even
can't
though
figure it
there's
out.
free software to do this, God forbid you make anyone's life easier, especially when they're trying to read your work.
Page 12, panel 1, medium shot. Back in the Pentax lab, Viverick rubs her temple in frustration. She wears a crown connected to a series of wires, connected to a line running into Gatsby's head. Wait, I thought he was in the other... Okay, never mind.
Oh, it's a.
He was in like King Arthur times, and then there was like angels and shit because this is a Larry story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's always angels and shit in a Larry story. This is what I'm starting to learn.
All right. Who wants to be Viper?
This
Danny,
is good and all. I do love a revenge tale, but cliche historical drama is not what I'm looking for.
Panel 2, close up. Vivek smiles sadistically.
Let's change the channel.
Panel 3, wide shot. From a biometrical throne, Vivek in the background looms over Gatsby's body, strapped to the obsidian table. Bolts of psychic energy pulse from Vivek's crown, along the cable and into the plug connected to Gatsby's forehead. Gatsby seizes in agony.
That's it, wizard. Resist. It's more fun for me.
Panel 4, close up. Gatsby's head violently shakes, his expression shifting to pure agony as the psychic energy ravages his brain.
Inch by inch, I'll force myself into the deepest depths of your mind. Mwahaha. Hold on. Should I write that like it's a John Lamont script?
Yeah.
Page 13, panel 1. Wide shot. Vivek suddenly appears inside a completely white room, and a look of surprised confusion paints her face.
What? What is this?
You wanted in, did you not?
Ah, now they're in the Matrix. Panel 2,
yeah.
wide shot. Vivek yells into the void furiously.
I'm not in the mood for games.
Oh, you could have fooled me. You seemed up for games when you thought you had me under your control.
Panel 3, wide shot. Vivek screams into the endless white void.
You are still under my control. Tell me what I want, or I'll destroy you neuron by neuron.
Now that's an interesting gamble. Threaten me after I've trapped you. Bold.
You're a terrible liar. This is just a trick.
Page 14, panel 1, medium shot. A smoky-looking silhouette of Gatsby appears in the white space.
If you say so. However, now I'm curious. What are you after?
Panel 2, medium shot. Vivek smiles widenly, tipping her raised hand toward Gatsby in mocking gesture.
If you had any real way to stop me, you would already know what I'm after.
Panel 3, medium shot. Semi-transparent details of Gatsby, fully restored to normal, appear more visible as he crosses his arm and grins.
Let me guess. Your essence merger is breaking down. The competing energy of your souls is starting to cancel each other out on an atomic level. That's a pretty specific guess.
Panel 4, close up. Vivek's expression bursts into rage.
How? How did you know that?
The plot. Panel 4.
Panel 5.
I mean,
Panel
that was
5.
some serious Sherlocking. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Or as the Muppets would say, I read the screenplay.
Exactly.
Panel 5, close up. Gatsby's astral form now appears solid. He smiles in confident amusement.
You said it yourself. I'm in control.
Page 15, panel 1, wide shot. Vivek, screaming in rage, wipes her clawed hand. Swipes her clawed hand toward Gatsby, who explodes into smoke before she can hit it.
You are not in control! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Clearly, this line said by somebody in total control. Panel 2, medium shot. Gatsby, a mocking grin on his face, appears behind Vivek, who gasps in confusion.
You need to reevaluate your position.
Panel 3, close-up. Gatsby taps the back of Vivek's head with his index finger. A point of green energy bursts from the contact point.
Let's expand your perspective, shall we?
Panel 4, wide shot. Vivek splits back into Vivek and Eric, a burst of green energy exploding out between them from Gatsby's touch.
What did he do to us?
Like I have... Oh, wait, I'm not Viviax.
No, you're not.
I can be Viviax too.
Sure.
All right, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I have a fucking clue.
Page 16, panel 1, wide shot. Viviax and Eric both fall to their knees, vibrating. Ooh. In pain from the forced separation, green steam billowing off their bodies. Gatsby stands tall, behind them smiling, his eyes glowing a vibrant green.
Now we can have a proper conversation.
Panel 2, medium shot. Viviax quickly strikes backward toward Gatsby, aiming her claw at his head. Gatsby continues to smile, unmoving.
Nah, I'm done with you.
Medium shot. Viviax hits nothing. She stumbles forward with a shocked expression. Gatsby stands behind her on the opposite side of his original position, still smiling.
That wasn't very nice, madame.
Panel 4, wide shot. Viviax turns, ready to strike again. Eric quickly stands, blocking her arm with his arm.
Stop. It's pointless.
Page 17, panel 1, medium shot. Viviax growls at Eric.
Get out of my way, machine.
Panel 2, medium shot. Eric glares coldly at Viviax, using the sharp metal of his finger to cut across the top of the opposite hand.
It's all an illusion. Look at your hand.
Panel 3, close up. Viviax has a wound in the same place that Eric cut on his hand.
Crafty.
Panel 4, wide shot. Viviax and Eric stand tall and stare down Gatsby, both crossing their arms. A translucent image of Viverick appears between them.
He separated our minds, but physically we are still singular. What's the point of this wizard?
Page 18, panel 1.
That's what he wrote. If he wanted to pause, he would have written a comma.
You're right. I should have wrote a comment there.
Medium shot. Gatsby shrugs, chuckling as he replies.
My mind, my rules. That's the point.
Oh, that's what happens when you're in a dream and you realize you're in a dream.
That's right.
Panel 2. They're the best dreams.
They're
Medium shot.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I already know how John Lamont's lucid dreams all end.
Medium shot. Usually there's a lot of flying in them. I don't know why.
Okay.
Medium shot. Gatsby
Sure.
extends his arm out, palm open, his expression turning serious.
I'm willing to give you the knowledge you seek, but I need you both present.
Panel 3, medium shot. Viviax laughs, her expression broadcasting her annoyance.
Our minds are separate when we are joined, you know. This is just foolish mental gymnastics.
Panel 4, close up. Gatsby smirks.
Come on, darling. We both know you're in the driver's seat of this bond.
Page 19, panel 1, close up. Viviax snarls in rage, her eyes bursting with red energy.
The only thing I'm going to drive is my foot to that irritating mouth of yours.
Panel 2, medium shot. Eric sternly grips his hand on Viviac's shoulder, trying to calm her hostility.
Did you miss the part where he said he was going to tell us what we want?
Panel 3, medium shot. Viviac snarls back at Eric, swatting his hand off her.
That's the type of stupidity that gets you put in the back seat for the rest of the trip.
Panel 4, close up. Gatsby appears directly beside Viviac, whispering closely in her ear.
This is why I wanted his voice unrestricted. Good advice.
Page 20, panel 1, medium shot. Viviac swipes her claw toward Gatsby's position, but hits nothing but air again.
Enough.
Panel 2, medium shot. Gatsby appears directly behind Viviac again. He laughs and shrugs as pure rage paints her face.
You know, a definition of insanity is repeating the same action, expecting different results.
Panel 3, close up. Viviac swings back to strike at Gatsby again, putting all her force and speeding into the strike.
Fuck you. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Panel 4, wide shot. Instead of hitting the air this time, Eric clocks Viviac in the jaw, sending her flying backward off her feet.
Shut up and listen, bitch.
Oh, all right. Press on Eric now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
all right.
Too late now. No, it's too late.
I want to take that line.
That's the performance we're all going to remember now.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Larry, good job. I thought those characters feel very true to the way I created them. So good work.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, I mean, like Viviac definitely sounds like Viviac, and Eric sounds like Eric, and Viverick sounds like Viverick, and you know the Great Wizard Gatsby sounds like it. Yeah, like you did a great job.
I went and reread like all of Guinevere before I started writing the pages. So yeah. Yeah.
No, they certainly feel quite true to their, their prior iterations.
Okay.
So good job. I mean, we got a cool action sequence. There's like mind trickery going on, and that's been part of the Guinevere and Viviac story for a long time.
Yeah.
So great. And it's entertaining. Stuff's happening. I look forward to seeing where things go next.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Cool.
Robert, what did you think?
I actually like the progression of it from scene to scene, if you will, or panel to panel, because they fell under Gatsby incrementally, under his control, and it wasn't like just one fell swoop or a superpower or anything like that. Even though there was obviously some sort of power that was there, but it almost as though he was entangling them in a web. And when I say them, I'm talking about Vivaric as the dual person, which I didn't know because I hadn't seen it before, which was, I thought, very interesting. And so I like the pace of doing that and the stages that you took it through to get it there, and how he taunted. It was interesting. His taunts were at both of them, even though he was talking to one entity at one point, and then when they became separate entities, he split up the messaging and, if you will, the tone of who Gatsby was addressing at each time, and I thought that was an interesting take on it. You gave them the structure of it gave them the unity that they had when they were joined, and then it also gave them their individuality once they were separated. So that was apparent to me, and I don't have any background of the characters at all, so I thought that was strong.
John.
Yeah, I mean, I really missed the scene about Gatsby, fighting a crocodile or something in Australia. But no, this was
what was that Mulby's script?
It was enjoyable.
Yes, that was Mulby's script. Yeah.
It was Mulby's script.
That was pretty fun though.
Yeah.
I have to say.
It was. I missed Mulby's version of Gatsby and Guinevere.
Yeah.
But no, it was very interesting. I thought you added to the lore in a pretty interesting way. So yeah, I'd say good.
Cool.
I mean, I really missed the part where there was an entire cult murdering kangaroos outside of an Egyptian pyramid in Australia.
Oh my god!
But definitely, this passage was substantially more coherent than what you gave us last week. So that was really nice to see, and like you did a pretty okay battle in the center of the mind type thing. Yeah, so that was those tend to be fun to read.
Cool.
Constructive.
Preston.
Look, I was reading it going, well, this is pretty good. I don't know that I have necessarily a lot of notes. I feel like you did okay.
Okay.
Danny's probably got something.
I know what he's gonna say. Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit repetitive.
It is a little repetitive.
Yeah. Sure.
Like,
well,
it
would you
feels like 5 pages of content stuffed into 10.
Okay. Oh, all right. He would cut it down by half, apparently.
Okay. I mean, I do tend to be long-winded. That's for
what?
Sure.
No.
Dude,
and I feel like it has nothing whatsoever to do with the
40
previous
pages.
stuff. But
hey, this is a one-shot. It's supposed to be long.
But why are there demons and angels in it then?
What's the first part?
Yeah. And also the beginning of this passage. Okay, no, I'm done. It's too long. Other people can bitch about the angels.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember angels.
Anyway,
You
he was
got
in the
anything, John?
flashback in the first part, but
John, you got anything?
No, not really. It
Robert,
seemed
you got
fine.
anything?
Yeah. The one thing that got to me towards the end is I felt it was a bit repetitive of the same thing over and over again between Eric once they were split, the back and forth between them. And what I kept thinking of is a parent looking in the back seat, "Don't make me stop this car," type of fighting between two kids. And it wasn't there in the beginning of it, but after about the third time that Eric kept telling Vivek or
Viviac.
Viviak to chill out. It started to feel like just two kids fighting. So I think it was tighter, or it would be tighter, if you could reduce some of that back and forth and just make the first admonition of behavior a little bit stronger and have it stick a little bit more.
Sure.
That's about it. That was pretty good,
Okay.
I thought. So.
All right. Well, there you go, Larry. That's what we got for you this week.
Okay, good stuff. I'll keep going.
Yeah, and we also have John. Tell me about Project Delta.
So this is a page one rewrite of the first 10 pages of my hacker script.
Okay.
Based on some feedback that I got the last time I presented these pages. So yeah, that's basically all I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Cool.
So we're starting at the beginning then.
We are starting at the beginning. Yes, we're going to spend some time with our main character before he gets arrested. So that was one of the major feedback that I got from you guys. Because before, if you remember, it started with him being released from prison. And then he did stuff. So one of the things that you guys commented on, or at least I took away from the last time, was that we should introduce him a little bit earlier. So that's what I'm doing here.
Who would you like to narrate?
I'll narrate. Can I do it?
Robert.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Interior, Los Angeles Unified School District, middle school, computer lab day. Students varying 6th to 8th grade sit behind computers as the teacher walks between the rows.
Load up typing quiz 2B.
The clacking and clicking of dozens of keyboards and mice fill the air.
Remember, accuracy is more important than speed. Slamming the keyboard at 100 words a minute might work in Elden Ring, but not when you're doing transcriptions.
The students load up the typing program and select the quiz. Once they start typing, time counters begin. As the teacher passes Marcus's 12 years old desk, he glances past, making sure she doesn't turn back. Angle is on Marcus's keyboard. Marcus types Control plus Alt plus T. Angle, Marcus's monitor. A terminal window appears over the typing quiz. The clacking of the keyboard continues. Connect, I guess I read this. Connect to localhost 192.168.2.149:64. Disable _ device, keyboard. Disable device, mouse. Set system volume 100. Launch browser. Stealth mode. Navigate to web URL. Enable full screen. Play video. Disconnect. Okay. Computer lab. Another computer suddenly starts blaring heavily pixelated hentai at full volume, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. The teacher turns abruptly.
Bobby, what are you doing?
I didn't do anything.
Marcus snickers at the entire class or glass.
That should be class. Thank you.
Okay, bursts into laughter as the classroom is now fully distracted. Angle, Marcus's monitor. The keyboard clacking continues. / Marcus hacks into an 11th grade chemistry test answer sheets and emails it to someone. Computer lab. Unable to stop the video or take control of the affected computer, the teacher finally yanks the power cable. She stares down at the student, who sits in utter shock. I don't think the eye is supposed to be there. The eye was a cursor.
That's the cursor.
In utter shock and embarrassment.
Preston has a tendency to do that. He'll leave the cursor in the most bizarre places sometimes.
Okay.
It's okay.
To Principal Snyder's office now.
The rest of the students giggle.
timers are still going on those quizzes. This will affect your words per minute grade.
Marcus's smartwatch buzzes. He glances at it. Angle, Marcus's smartwatch. $100 received in Venmo. Computer lab. Marcus smirks to himself as the teacher calls him out.
Marcus, your special exemption for smart devices isn't for...
Larry, why don't you do Marcus?
Sure. I'm sorry, it won't happen again.
Exterior, neighborhood street, day. Early evening. Marcus steps off the school bus with a few other students. He walks alone up the sidewalk to his house. No cars in the driveway. Interior, Marcus's house. Living room, day. The last bits of daylight are all the illumination, I think. The living room, as Mark, are all the illuminate.
That should be all
Okay.
that illuminate the living room.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All that illuminate are all that illuminate the living room as Marcus lets himself inside.
Mom, April?
Kitchen. Marcus walks into the kitchen. The house phone on the wall flashes a message. Marcus hits play.
Hey, Marcus, it's Mom. We're at the hospital again. Don't worry, nothing serious. That's why we didn't text you at school.
Marcus opens the freezer, taking out a box of pizza rolls.
April's doing fine. It just a minor sprain. Doctor said it could have been worse, but wants to keep her overnight.
Marcus pours 6 pizza rolls from the box into an air fryer basket.
Your dad's stopping by for a bit after work, so he may not get home until late. There's some chicken in the fridge.
Marcus pours 6 more pizza rolls into the air fryer basket before returning it to the appliance.
If you get hungry. Love you, sweetie.
The phone beeps as the message ends. Marcus returns the pizza roll box to the freezer. Closing the door, he eyes a brochure under a magnet. Angle fridge door. The brochure has been there a while, barely visible under a grocery list. Marcus's report card of all A's and 1 B+, and a child's drawing. Marcus pushes the others aside, pulling out the brochure. Angle brochure. The brochure is for St. Vincent's Children's Hospital in Minnesota, advertising their top-of-the-line children's cancer treatment center. Large, bold letters announce a limited number of openings, urging parents to call today to reserve their spot. Cut to interior, neonatal intensive care unit, night, flashback. Marcus's father, holding a 3-year-old Marcus in his arms, looks down at a newborn girl, April, in a glass case hooked up to various life-saving equipment.
Oh, when can April come home?
Soon, buddy.
Soon.
Interior, Marcus's house, kitchen, night, present. Marcus tenderly returns the brochure to the fridge. He takes a deep breath before reaching for his cell phone. Angle cell phone. Marcus grabs his cell phone, loads an app called Voice Mode AI, then dials 800-555-4879. Interior, St. Vincent's call center, night. A nurse working the evening call center answers.
St. Vincent's Children's Hospital.
Marcus.
Yes. This is Josh from IT.
Interior, Marcus' house, kitchen, night. Marcus sits before his laptop, typing furiously.
We're in the middle of a routine patch update. I'm having an issue connecting to your terminal.
Angle, monitor, keyboard clacks, spoof email from Josh McGuffin, St. Vincent's Hospital, to Martha Gonzalez, registered nurse, St. Vincent's org, subject urgent, network security patch required, body. Hi, Martha. We've detected unusual traffic across the nurse station terminals this morning, potentially linked to a broader breach across the pediatric wing. Please run the enclosed patch installer to ensure your device is protected and compliant. This update is mandatory per IT Directive 4.8.1.2-B. You can download the patch from the secure server here. URL. Thanks, Josh McGovern, IT Systems Analyst, St. Vincent's Children's Hospital. Interior, St. Vincent's Call Center, night. The nurse's terminal beeps with an incoming email.
Sure, happy to help out.
Thanks. That'll save me a trip down there.
Angle, nurse's monitor. The nurse skims the email, clicks the link. A terminal window appears for a second, then disappears.
Nothing happened.
Interior, Marcus's house, kitchen, night. Marcus dumps the steaming pizza rolls into a large bowl next to his laptop. Angle, monitor. Echo, privileged network access active. Kitchen, Marcus smiles at himself.
It's working fine. Thanks so much for your help. Have a good evening.
Uto.
Marcus
It's not
Marcus-
a hard word to spell, John.
He needs to buy a vowel. Marcus ends the call, dropping his phone on the table. So proud of himself, he pops a pizza rolls. He pops 2 pizza rolls seconds before realizing the cheese is still molten. He spits it out, waving his hand over his still burning tongue. After his mouth returns to normal temperature, Marcus returns to his laptop.
All right, sis. Don't say I never did anything for you.
Angle, monitor, / Marcus hacks the hospital administration to authorize April's admittance. Interior, UCLA Medical Center, April's room, night. As 9-year-old April sleeps hooked up to various monitors, her parents sit in silence, eating day-old vending machine food. Almost simultaneously, their cell phones beep. As they check their phones, they get messages of April's admittance to St. Vincent's Children's Hospital. For some reason, I thought we were in Minnesota, but whatever. Interior,
The hospital's
LAUSD.
in Minnesota.
Okay, but they're in UCLA Medical Center.
They're in
Okay.
California.
Got it.
I mean, what a convenient commute.
Yeah. Interior, LAUSD State Middle School. Every entryway day. After exiting the metal detector and grabbing his bag, Marcus is greeted by the school resource officer.
Marcus.
Marcus feigns innocence.
Good morning.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Principal Snyder wanted to see you in his office.
Interior, Principal Snyder's office continued. Marcus sits before the desk of Principal Snyder. The resource officer stands by the door, arms crossed.
Marcus, how are you doing today? How's April?
I'm fine. She's fine.
Good. That's good to hear. I asked you here to talk about yesterday's incident. We know kids are exposed to all kinds of unsavory material these days.
Marcus exhales, relaxing.
Yeah, I'm fine. I think most of it was blurred out anyway.
Well, yes. Well, as you can imagine, the computers our students use all have various mechanisms in place to avoid unauthorized use.
Marcus tenses up again.
Needless to say, IT was called in and they trace an authorized access back to the terminal you were assigned to that day. Care to explain?
Cut to black. Interior, California Federal Penitentiary, Library, day. Marcus, now 17, wearing a CFP jumpsuit, California Fire paratroopers or something. Jumpsuit returns prison, I guess. A
Federal
prison?
Penitentiary?
Oh, there you go.
California Federal Penitentiary.
There you go. Jumpsuit returns books from a mobile cart back to the shelf in their original order. Superimpose 5 years later.
Man.
A guard approaches, getting his attention.
Boy, that principal really slammed the hammer down.
There's a little more to it, but
Yeah.
I had a feeling somebody was going to say that.
Okay.
Jacoby,
Yes, sir.
there's an FBI agent here to see you,
I'm working.
and it'll be here waiting for you when you get back.
Interior interview room, day. The guard escorts Marcus, hands cuffed behind his back, into the interview room where Special Agent John Avalon waits.
Thank you,
Marcus,
officer.
Preston. I was going to say, yeah.
Thank you, officer. You can remove those.
The guard uncuffs Marcus.
Would you give a minute? Don't worry. I left my phone, laptop, and pacemaker in my car. I have nothing on me he can use to hack his way out of here.
The guard exits. Marcus arches a brow.
Your pacemaker?
The last one was a joke. Please sit.
Avalon and Marcus sit down. Avalon opens a folder containing Marcus's records.
So you're currently serving a year 3 of a 10-year sentence for multiple violations of 18 U.S. Code Section 1030, unauthorized access, wire fraud, interstate data manipulation, and of course,
Avalon moves the court document to show the 2027 newspaper headline about a teen hacker being arrested for stealing $5 million from the GulfCon Energy Corporation.
the GulfCon breach, $5 million vanished from their Cayman accounts like a fart in a hurricane.
Maybe they should have kept it in the U.S.
That's a good point, Mark.
Uh,
So, care to tell me where you stashed it?
is that all you wanted? Guard.
No, not at all. Actually, I'm here to offer you the chance of a lifetime.
Let me guess, you want to hire me.
7-year contract. You finish your sentence here under the supervision of the FBI Cyber Crimes Division.
You guys in the FBI, you are just as corrupt as that oil company sheltering billions of offshore to evade taxes.
Then you'll be in good company.
Guard.
Guard returns. Marcus stands, putting his hands behind his back.
Sorry to hear your sorry to bust your nut like a phishing attack, but this is a very limited time offer, like 120 seconds limited.
The guard snaps the cuffs on. Snaps on the cuffs. Marcus takes a deep breath, considering his options.
Okay.
That's as far as I got.
That's as far. I think your writing is getting better, John. I mean, like it's pretty solid. Like, we know who the main character is. I don't know what the struggle is, but I'm pretty sure in another 3 or 4 pages we're going to get a conflict and we're going to be off and running, and there's going to be FBI and national crisis. And Marcus seems really good at what he does, and even in his off-screen life, he was even better. So I think you did a great job of introducing your story. I've seen a few hacker movies, including the one entitled Hackers, and there was surprisingly little actual hacking in
There
it.
was.
So I feel like you did a good job with like the codes and stuff. And I know you mentioned in the Discord, like AI helped with that, but hey, that's what AI is good for, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought you did good work.
I'll go. I'm assuming was based on the young guy who hacked into the Security Pacific account in California and sold all that money, and was then hired by the FBI to become an expert for them.
So I wrote the first draft of the script. I wrote 20 years ago, and it was based similar on that. It was actually inspired by Catch Me If You Can, which was also inspired by a true story. So yes, it is kind of that same concept where, bright young criminal mind gets hired by the FBI and they go off and solve crimes together. So that's kind of the concept behind this story. So
right. Well, this is kind of a criminal feeling justified because he's stealing from people who are basically crooks.
Well, of course. I mean, I can't make my villain like too villainous if he's supposed to be the hero.
Yeah,
but,
but that complexity makes it interesting, and it is interesting, and you give that backstory with it, even with a better handled flashback without 6 of them as I had. Although what I did is very popular right now, and if you watch Netflix crap, but at any rate, I thought it was
yes. But is it successful? Just because a lot of people do it doesn't mean it works, and it's very successful.
Yeah, but
I'm for content.
What can I tell you? Just got to keep them jumping. But I think that it's progressive. I think that's what Preston was saying is that it moves, and that I always like in a script. It doesn't sit one place too long, and that's good.
I was really impressed, as Preston was, that a lot of things happened, and very few of them read like a John Lamont script.
John Lamont, that name sounds famous. It sounds like a 1951 actor that was really big. And
it's this guy you're on the stream with. And, his general approach to script writing is to write something really good and then back away from it with every revision.
That's a producer's job, not yours, John.
Larry, what do you
Yes. So yeah, no, it was good. The character had character. The character had, like, the young version of the character had motivation. Presumably that motivation will come into play later, almost as though this were a movie and not a John Lamont script. Yeah, like, I can see how this could go to, like, some interesting places.
Okay.
I really don't have any constructive. I think, you know. I think
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
I don't
entertaining.
know why they
Really
cut the
got
hacking
cheap.
from the hacker movies. Like, I think Mr. Robot did an okay job of it, but, like,
Sure, yeah.
I
yeah.
know all of that stuff is, like, way more tedious to read the screenplay than it is, like, to see on the
Yeah.
screen. But, like, no one wants to sit watching some guy type all that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the
and
reason
no one
normally,
understands what that means. Also,
so normally I wouldn't care about the script. The only reason why I care about the script is for the comic. It's the only reason why. Otherwise, if you were to read like earlier drafts before I was in comics, it was literally just them typing. So in the original script, I actually got coverage on the original version of Project Delta. And one of the positive things that I remember is that the positive note that they gave me was that I did a very good job of writing a scene of 4 people typing in computers and making it interesting.
Okay.
cool. I really
Because
wish I knew
literally that was the climax of these 4 hackers all like doing this hack all at the same time. And the coverage notes that I got was that it was very interesting. But I didn't write any code for that. The code, really, I'm doing all this is for the eventual comic, which
Mhm. Yeah,
That's
no,
all
so that
it's
all
for.
made sense. So, like, still, it was formatted as a screenplay. I keep imagining it as a screenplay. So, like, yeah, that's not really a crit. But, like, at the same time, Preston did mention, I agree with this too, that there isn't a plot yet.
there is not a plot. I haven't actually decided on the plot yet. I've got a couple
That-
floating
Okay.
around.
Because
That's where I was
Yeah.
going to go with it too. What's the plot?
I
Yeah.
feel like there's a
Yeah.
version of this that just starts with the scene on page 9, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I just get visions of what was that film Matthew Broderick was in? Type in thermonuclear
War
war.
Games.
That's what,
War Games.
War Games. Okay, War Games. I just get this scene of like a single screen and people standing around watching one person typing it in, not 4.
like it's the 70s. Yeah, those movies are fun.
Well, but it's like it's more togetherness, and you get to see everybody.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of that. It's a visual thing, but you're not going for that. You're going for the comic book. You want this as your subscription
Well,
for the comic book.
It's because I don't have the money to finance this as a film. Then yes, it will likely be proof of concept will go out in a comic book. But
It's like making it short. No, it's. I think that's a really wise way to go.
But if I do what I want to do, if I really want to go into the mystery thriller angle, I will probably write the entire screenplay out. I will probably write a 120-page screenplay first before I start breaking it into a comic, because I'll want to have enough foreshadowing and stuff. I'll need to make sure that my foreshadowing is there. If I just start spitting out comic book issues in search of a plot, or try something, unless I decide to do it serial, which I haven't decided yet.
Well, that'd be like if you did eight page.
You
comic
should
book,
totally
that'd be
use
like
like
a
Serial Twins.
that'd be like 15
No,
editions.
not serial twins, but like a TV series where I have mini plots every 2 to 3 issues. Yes, episodic. So
yeah, they usually do that. You got to break the beats and know what your season plot is, and you clearly don't yet.
Yeah,
No, you need the arc. You need if you're going to do that, you need a Bible. What's going to happen in each thing, and that's very different than just a linear script. So, you'd have to make a decision pretty soon, or waste a lot of time writing.
Well, the main thing that I wanted, which I got the feedback from today, was whether or not the opening works. So what happens? What happens when we jump to the present will likely change. But if 1 through 8 pages 1 through 8 work, then I can then start, because I don't know if I want like the bad guys to come into prison to come after him. That's another thought. One of my
He's too
thoughts was to
trapped. No, you got to give him a way out. They got to chase him. You can't chase him in prison. You go to the shower, you're dead.
I mean, maybe that should be off screen too.
Just show the feet in the water.
You want
Anyway, when I figure out what the plot is going to be, I'll bring it back.
All right, Erwin, did you hear any of it?
Oh yeah, I heard a lot of it while I was like washing dishes and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's hard. It's hard these days to stay like in the genre of science fiction. It's hard to stay like 20 years ahead of the current technology, because the current technology is evolving like every 30 seconds, like literally.
Okay.
Like programmers today are having to compete with AI, because like AI can do like the a quality of programming that is within the top 10% of human programmers, right? But they just haven't unleashed this yet on all the programmers and made them unemployed and stuff like that. But the programmers themselves are actually using AI already to do programming, and then they're going in like checking it, like
They've been using AI for 10 years in this. I mean, AI is not new. It's publicly accessible. That's the difference. But I mean, anybody who's had spell check has been using AI, for Christ's sake.
Well, I'm not talking about spell check. I'm talking about like the AI is actually.
I know what I do, and
stuff, yeah.
I work for a software company, so and not a programmer at all. But the guys I worked with were using we were using Russians. I have to admit it, and they were using AI to do to solve very complex sequencing in the things that we were doing, and so it's been around. They know how to do it. It's evolved, to your point. Like weekly, it gets better because the AI is making itself better. If you want to get scary, that's scary.
Well, it's just something to consider, John. I mean, I think maybe you either said it like in today's world and like have like all this AI shit going on, or you said it like 20 years earlier, where Americans were not using it. I don't know what the Russians were doing, but yeah, not too many Americans were using AI.
I see a Max Headroom component to this. He taps into somebody who's getting brain surgery, and their brain suddenly starts living in the computer, and that's his enemy that chases him everywhere, no matter where he is. Somewhere between Max Headroom and Minority Report.
And then they invent the
this
hottest
is not
girl
cyberpunk.
on their renderer.
Yeah, no, I
renderer
totally
in real
watched
life.
Russian TV show for Max Headroom.
Oh my god.
No, I mean,
When is
I'm
it
not.
John the
That's not a.
Monster?
That is not this story.
Okay.
Project Delta is not cyberpunk. It is supposed to be a spy thriller of sorts. Cop thriller, cop spy thriller. That is the genre this is in. So whatever is current is what it'll be written for. And yeah, to Erwin's point, I don't know if AI is such a fad. I don't know if I want to lean into that. If this becomes the project that I take on next year, I probably won't go that route. If it takes me another 10 years to put this project out, then who knows? As I said, the draft that I wrote 20 years ago, I could not publish today because of the changes in technology.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the future of your project. Like if this comes out 2 years from now, like AI is going to be, I don't know who knows what AI is going to be doing at that point. And then it's like it'll be like that, like the Captain Kirk still using walkie-talkies and stuff. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not planning on making this a period project, so.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you had an answering machine. Why not?
People still have answering machines.
They do. Wow.
Yeah.
With tape.
All right, we got.
No, they're digital.
A
Yeah.
We got a Draco script.
Oh, great.
With Ulysses.
Ghosts.
No.
Ghosts of
Oh, God.
Bolivia.
Oh, okay.
Ghosts of Bolivia.
What?
Which is disappointing Diane.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Wait, why are we disappointing Diane?
Greek mythology.
Yeah. By the way, our second AD or former second AD, L, will be
Will be attending the.
yeah, she'll be hanging out with us on Friday
Okay.
in Hollywood.
She coming to the museum with us?
I mean, potentially.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, like, would you like to go to Hollywood on your birthday? And I went, okay, what's going to happen? We're going to do a screening at night. So we're going to be there in the morning. Can we go to the La Brea Tar Pits? Because I'm a nerd. So
I hear they have a
he's
really
like,
great
yes.
museum.
It is. It's great.
Yeah.
And LACMA's right there too for culture.
Anyway, all right, so yeah. Let's take a look at Draco's script.
Boy.
And Robert, what city are you out of, by the way?
Well, Santiago, Chile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
I go
Okay,
back and
cool.
forth
There
between
you
the
go.
states and here, so it's actually Viña del Mar, Chile, but
Okay.
nobody knows where that is.
Hmm.
Most people don't know where Chile is.
Yeah.
Are you involved with the lithium mines there or something?
It's all over the. No, I'm not.
I know where
I don't
Chili
wanna
is.
be.
It's in my fridge.
There you go.
Exactly.
It's a penguin. Yeah, there's a penguin character named Chili. So.
All right, let's take a look at the last script of the evening. Ghosts of Bolivia.
I'm glad I get to be here for the last script.
Absolutely.
And is it
Rogue
Draco's script?
Films Productions.
Hmm?
Well, you
What's
came
it,
just
Dennis?
in
I
time
don't
for
know.
the Draco script.
Yeah, I know. I did.
Rogue Films Productions at Outlook.com. There we go. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Exterior Bolivian jungle night. Sound of rustling leaves, distant gunfire, muffled. A lone figure dressed in civilian clothes but moving. Yes, you're also moving. But moving with a trained precision, navigates the undergrowth. This is Rico, 30s, Latino, hardened, determined. He glances nervously behind him. Suddenly, a burst of automatic gunfire rips through the jungle. Rico cries out, stumbling. Figures in dark tactical gear emerge from the shadows. Santa Blanca Sicarios.
Sicarios.
I'll do Sicario.
Oh,
Alto. I would say para.
Rico tries to flee, but more shots ring out. He collapses, clutching his chest. The Sicarios close in.
look
Sicario
for
dos.
something in his
Busquen,
pocket.
Who wants to be?
busquen algo en sus bolsillos.
They roughly search Rico. One pulls out a small encrypted USB drive. I want to say, USB drives may have encrypted files on them.
Yeah.
But
They themselves are.
I mean, like, there's no way to tell, like, if it, a USB
Someone put a
drive is
padlock
encrypted.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, this is
Yes,
it.
do us.
The
They lead
Why is it
Sicario.
suddenly, after years of everyone failing to read any language, everyone's reading in Spanish now? What is happening?
desaparecerlo. Make him disappear.
Let's see. That's Diane's alarm. All
Sorry.
right. Two Sicarios drag Rico deeper into the jungle. A final muffled gunshot echoes. Cut to black. Interior. CIA black site, Langley, Virginia. Day. Fluorescent lights hum over a sterile, windowless room. Anna Reed, 40s, sharp. Intelligence CIA analyst stands before a large holographic display showing maps of Bolivia and intel reports. General Petrov, 50s, stern, military bearing, stands beside her. I just want to say, Drake, your formatting has gotten way better with your time on the stream. So good job. Yay. Who wants to be Reed?
I'll do Reed.
Okay.
Rico Alvarez was our deepest cover in Santa Blanca. His last transmission, it was fragmented, but he mentioned something big, a connection beyond just drug trafficking.
The president wants answers, Reed. Fast. Santa Blanca is destabilizing the entire region.
They're more organized, better equipped than we initially thought, General. Rico was close to uncovering something that got him killed.
Dun dun dun.
The holographic display shifts to show 4 dossiers with code names: Nomad, Ghost Lead, Reaper, Sniper, Fink, Engineer, Punisher, Assault. I feel like that's more than 4 dossiers. Oh no, wait. Nomad is Ghost Lead. Reaper is a sniper. Pink is an engineer, and Punisher does assault. Okay, there, now I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do dossiers generally include people's job title?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Deploy the ghost.
They enjoy volleyball on the beach. Yeah.
And once again, Draco, why are you using trademark character names? Stop it! Stop it! Do you just want to get sued?
Yeah.
What? No, no one's ever heard of, a character who uses assault rifles named Punisher before.
Exactly.
Right, yes, that's totally original.
Totally original.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, what an uncommon name
Petra.
for a military character.
Yeah.
Deploy the ghosts discreetly. No boots on the ground officially. This never happened.
Understood, Herr General.
Were you about to say General?
Exterior remote
Yeah.
You should have. You should have. You missed it.
But we're in
Oh, my
Langley,
God.
Virginia. I got to say, a black site in
Yeah, we are in
Langley, Virginia doesn't fit. But anyway.
Sure.
That's what makes it so black.
Exterior.
I mean, if they put the
Remote
black
mountain
site in
range,
Area
Bolivia,
51,
night-
everybody would know it's in
Okay,
Area
yeah,
51.
yeah.
Put it under the IRS building. Nobody
A
ever
sleek
goes there.
Okay.
Not anymore.
A sleek black helicopter descends silently into a secluded clearing. The 4 members of the Ghost team rappel down. Nomad, 30's American stoic tactical leader, is the first to touch down, immediately scanning the surroundings. Reaper, 30's American cool precise sniper, sets up his long-range rifle, his gaze focused through the scope. Fink, is it? Fink? Fink.
Yeah.
Fink, 30's American tech savvy, carries a backpack full of gadgets, deploys a small reconnaissance drone, and Punisher, 30's American heavily armed direct action specialist, checks his assault rifle.
Is American
Does
a
Punisher
code
wear
word
a
for
Punisher
white?
shirt?
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Because I feel like that's what I just read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I have some problems with that.
Yeah, either they're all American or they're
Who wants to
not.
be
I
Nomad?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Ghost.
Nomad's Native American.
This
Yeah.
is Nomad.
Good thing that's
Oh.
right.
That would be interesting.
Maybe Nomad's a gypsy. Ooh,
Oh, God.
Call back.
Could be.
Yeah.
Primary objective: investigate the death of U.S. operative Rico Alvarez and neutralize Santa Blanca cartel. Secondary: identify any external threats or conspiracies.
Well, I'm really glad they
Must be
recapped
Reaper.
that for us on page 3.
Robert.
Yes,
why don't you
I
do it?
love how they talk about the plan that they're doing, that they've been planning
Yeah,
for weeks,
yeah,
but they're
yeah.
just talking about it the last minute
I mean,
as they go
look,
in.
it's
Which
page
character
3.
should I be?
We were just told the plan on page 2. We forgot.
But these
All right.
characters, they
All
knew the
right,
plan.
You're acting like they're characters, John.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Erwin,
they're action
you be
figures.
Reaper. There we go.
Okay.
Perimeter secure, Nomad. Nothing moving.
Can I be
Drone is
Fink?
airborne.
Yeah, you can
Robert,
be.
you with us?
Getting-
Okay.
Oh,
No, who? Somebody else is doing Fink. I'll do
yes,
Fink.
drone is airborne. Getting thermal readings now. Looks quiet.
Mhm.
I'll
Let's
do
keep it
Punisher.
that way.
Robert, you
I
can
know.
be Punisher.
I'll do something someday.
There we go. Enter abandoned shack near a small village. Night.
Oh my
The
god.
ghost moves stealthily through the dilapidated shack. Fink is hunched over a laptop, analyzing data from his drone and satellite imagery.
Wait, there's ghosts in this story?
Yeah, it's a Dracula story.
I mean, because the ghosts are moving stealthily.
That's their special op.
No, the four guys are ghosts.
Okay.
Oh, I thought Ghost
the
was
ghost.
one of the characters.
No. Apparently,
okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Draco, video game, Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
May be not a good idea to use trademark names for your special tactical squad.
Anyway.
yo, everyone wanted to read the Ghost Recon Punisher mashup
I
with
mean,
Dracula.
right?
Yeah.
No, that's one.
Oh,
shit.
no, it's not Blackula. It's going to be Hispacula because it's Alvarez.
Oh,
and then he's George.
no.
Okay.
That's really good. It's spacula.
Danny, I believe you are Fink.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Rico's last known location was near this village. Intel suggests a Santa Blanca outpost nearby.
Nomad examines a discarded cigarette pack with a Santa Blanca insignia. Shit, they have.
You think there are
monogram
cigarettes?
Yeah.
That is
They're
awesome.
monogram
That is awesome.
Why are they selling illegal drugs?
They were here recently. Reaper, anything from your vantage point?
Negative, Nomad. Village looks deserted. Too quiet.
His mother named him Nomad?
Yeah, you fucking right he did. Yeah.
Suddenly, the shack door bursts open. Two armed Sicarios are silhouetted against the moonlight. And they say, Intrusos.
Intrusos.
Punisher reacts instantly, firing short bursts from his rifle. The Sicarios drop.
Quiet just got loud.
That's comic book.
Exterior. The outpost is a small compound surrounded by a makeshift fence and patrolled by several armed guards. Fink's drone hovers silently overhead.
4 tangos patrolling the perimeter. 2 more near the main building. Looks like a small communications relay.
God damn it.
Reaper, take out the 2 guards by the comms building. Synchronized shots. Punisher, Fink, you're with me. We move in silently.
Copy that, Nomad.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a what?
He said, I ain't got time to bleed.
I'm getting Punisher. I'm getting Predator
Jesse
vibes.
Ventura vibes?
Predator.
Yes, Predator vibes.
Yeah.
All
Except Ventura dies right after because he's a crazy person. And of course he's got time to bleed.
Right.
2 muffled
that would be
sniper shots
great.
ring
When
out.
he
The 2
dies,
guards
it's
near the
always
comms building slump.
Jeez.
Yeah. The 2 guards near the comms slump to the ground. Nomad, Punisher, and Fink move swiftly and silently towards the outpost, using the shadows for cover. Interior, Santa Blanca communications room. Knight and Nomad, Punisher, and Fink breach the room. 1 remaining Sicario is frantically working on the radio. Punisher quickly subdues him. Fink moves the
what's that
communications
supposed to
equipment,
mean?
plugging his laptop into a terminal.
Jackpot. Encrypted data streams. Let's see what Rico was looking into.
Anything about weapons?
Anything about weapons shipments, political connections.
Scanning. Whoa. This isn't just about drugs. There are mentions of international arms dealers. And look at those names. High-ranking government. It's fucking page 4.
Dun, dun, dun.
The laptop screen displays a complex network diagram with names and connections. 1 name stands out. El Sueno.
Okay.
The
Exterior
sweat?
Bolivian village Dade. What?
What's that supposed to mean? That's the one Spanish word that's not translated.
It's the dream.
Uh,
Sueño. He left out the tilde over the end.
The ghosts, now in civilian disguises, move through a bustling but tense village. Locals eye them with suspicion and fear. Santa Blanca presence is evident. Armed men patrol the streets.
Anything more on El Suento?
He's the head of the
Sueño.
cartel.
Sueno.
Untouchable. They say.
Anything more on El Sueno?
He's the head of the cartel. Untouchable, they say. Operates from the shadows. But these data logs, they suggest he's connected to something much bigger than just the drug trade. he says while walking around in civilian disguises while people eye him suspiciously.
You're brutal, Danny. You're brutal.
What? Because I'm
pass a
paying
wall.
attention?
Yeah.
I have to pay
Okay.
attention to this.
They pass a wall plastered with Santa Blanca propaganda posters depicting El Sueno as a savior figure.
Oh my God, Lord.
Propaganda machines working overtime. These people look terrified, not saved.
Oh my god, is this another Let's Kill Jesus story?
Yeah.
Can this please be a Let's Kill Jesus story, please? Please, can El Sueño be like a Dracula
Oh,
Jesus
did I
or
miss that?
something?
Did I miss Jesus coming in?
No,
not
not really.
exactly. But
No.
in Robert's script, read the second 20 pages, and they were just remembering that in the first 10 pages there was crucifixion of Jesus.
It was a fond memory.
Oh,
Fond
God.
They spawn a young woman, 20s, defiant, being harassed by two sicarios.
Yes,
Sicario
it's
one.
Predator.
Donde está tu hermano?
Well, no, it's not, because Predator is good.
Woman, be woman. No,
Okay.
No say.
I don't.
That's
The
not bad.
Sicario shoves her roughly. Exterior village street continuous. Nomad subtly signals to his team. Reaper is positioned on the rooftop overlooking the scene.
Oh my god, it's so
Oh, we intervened.
So hold on. Can we just clarify? Is this the ghost team that's supposed to enter and exit without leaving a trace?
Yes,
They're
yes.
fucking terrible.
This is not what a ghost team does. Yeah.
Very terrible, yeah.
They are so. Why do they still have jobs?
Yeah.
Musk hasn't been here yet. You know?
You gotta cut these people.
We intervene. Non-lethal, if possible.
Yeah.
Nomad steps forward.
If they're intervening, why does it matter if it's lethal or not?
You know,
Oh, my
that's
goodness Christ.
Yeah, it's actually better if it is lethal. They're
Yeah,
killing
because
the bad
then they
guys.
can't tell somebody what just happened.
The Sicarios turn, surprised.
¿Y tú quién eres, gringo?
Before they can react,
Oh
Punisher
my
moves
god, America
quickly,
is code for white.
disarming
Apparently.
one Sicario
Yeah.
and using him as a shield against the other's weapons. Pink uses a taser to incapacitate the second Sicario. Reaper covers them from the rooftop, his rifle trained on any potential threats. The woman stares at the ghost, a flicker of hope in her eyes. Interior abandoned church outside the village. Night, the ghosts have brought the rescued woman Isabella to a safe location.
This
She is wary but grateful. What?
is totally Predator, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't-
they even
I mean,
save a woman.
This is nothing like Predator.
All right. Who's
All
Nomad?
right.
It's Predator, but instead of a Predator, we're gonna get Dracula.
All right, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah.
We are here to help. What can we tell us about Santa Blanca, about Rico Alvarez?
Because like everyone knows that guy, right?
Larry, be Isabella.
Yeah. Rico. He was asking questions about shipments going in and out of the old airfield. He said they weren't all drugs. Wow.
Everyone knows this guy and everything. Okay. The
Yeah.
airfield.
He's a savior.
It's heavily guarded. We've seen the satellite intel.
El Suano, he has powerful friends. People you wouldn't believe. They come in unmarked planes in the darkness of the night.
How do you know that?
Mostly.
What kind of
Anyway.
cargo?
Isabella hesitates, fear in her eyes.
Weapons. Advanced weapons. Oh my god. This guy is the kind that my brother, he said, could start a war.
That's all kinds of weapons.
Yeah, that's all kinds of weapons.
Metal Gear. Yeah, it's like,
Metal Gear.
Yeah, Metal
Right.
Gear.
I mean,
Yeah.
200 years ago, a bunch of people started a war with muskets.
I mean, like, also, if they're coming down at night, how do you know they're unmarked?
Yeah.
Well, because she can see them with her laser eyes.
She's a Dracula too.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
She has a lazy eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how she, and obviously she was good friends with Rico because they found her randomly on the street.
Exterior overlooking the
Oh my
airfield
God.
night. The ghosts are concealed on a ridge overlooking a large floodlit airfield. Several cargo planes are parked on the tarmac, surrounded by heavily armed Santa Blanca soldiers. Trucks move in and out, loading and unloading crates.
What a subtle airfield.
Oh shit.
Who's
Heavy
Reaper?
security. Surface-to-air missile emplacements on the perimeter.
Well, you're on
What
foot,
a
so that
subtle
shouldn't matter.
airfield.
Go, Danny.
All
I
right.
think
Isabella's right. Those aren't your typical drug runs. Look at the size of those crates. Wait, does Fink speak
Did she
Spanish?
even introduce herself?
Was he the only person not speaking Spanish and he understood all the Spanish?
Yeah.
No, Punisher didn't speak Spanish either.
Oh,
And when
okay.
he spoke English, she understood what he said.
Oh, good lord. Okay.
Everyone understands English.
Yeah.
Also,
okay.
she never
So-
introduced herself as Isabella, so how did
That's
they know her name?
true. That's true.
Well,
I guess we just
they
learned
actually knew her first
All right.
before they came into the country
Yeah.
illegally to perform some murders.
Yeah.
No, they didn't murder. They tased the one dude and they went in
Okay.
non-lethal.
Oh yeah,
Because
Okay.
Subdued it,
Sicarios
whatever the hell.
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
forgive them for invading into their plans or breaking up their plans and invading their private spaces if they let everybody live.
Yeah,
I
John.
completely
Look,
understand.
I'll believe the sentence "Punisher subdues the man" doesn't mean Punisher kills him. Okay, when Trump admits he's wrong about things sometimes.
There you go. Nomad observes the activity with a grim expression.
This isn't just about a drug cartel anymore. This is bigger, much bigger.
He turns to his team.
Our mission has just changed. We're not just dismantling a drug operation. We're stopping a war.
Right.
Question.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Weren't they here to find what Rico was looking for, and they were never here to dismantle a drug operation? And also, how long have they been here to dismantle a drug operation for? And also, why is it only page 8?
Anyway. Overlooking the airfield, continuous. The ghosts continue to observe the airfield.
Sure they do.
You can tap into their communications. Oh, sorry. Can you tap into their communications? See what they're saying about this cargo.
Trying now, but it's encrypted tight. But I'm picking up some chatter. Code names: Viper, Cobra, military.
Oh god, no!
Trademarked.
No,
Trademarked. Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
Can that be the Dracula?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's a
Problem.
G.I. Joe movie. It's like, this is cool, though.
Are they even in Bolivia?
Walk in.
Casablanca.
There are no ghosts. I don't know if they're in Bolivia. There's no Dracula. I'm getting nothing out of this.
Who is Reaper?
I just said the lines. Those
You know what I know it. You know what I know what this story is. This
Oh?
story is Draco playing with action figures from different stories. He's got his GI Joes and his
Okay,
Punishers,
John.
and they're all
All right.
like,
Erwin, go ahead.
Let's finish this shit.
For the
Take
third
two,
time, those missile emplacements are a problem. We can't just walk in.
Thank you I appreciate your patience, sir. Punisher.
we need a plan, and we need to know what's on those planes.
A heavily armored truck pulls up to one of the cargo planes. Soldiers with advanced weaponry guard it.
That truck is carrying something important. Reaper, can you get a visual inside?
Negative, Nomad. Too much glare. But the guards, they're not Santa Blanca regulars. Different uniforms, more disciplined.
Man, it's a good read.
All the bad guys wear uniforms.
God. This is fucking G.I. Joe. Yeah.
Dude.
Interior abandoned church night. Isabella watches the ghost, her expressing a mix of fear and hope. Go, Isabella. You can just read this part right here.
That's not me.
No, it's Larry.
Oh, yeah. Those weapons, my brother said they were prototypes. Yeah. From another country. Canada. No, a country that doesn't want us to be free.
Oh.
Sounds like Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
Could be Canada.
Who is supplying El Sueno?
As Isabella hesitates, then whispers a name.
Oh.
Larry.
General Rojas. Yeah, General Rojas. He's not just a Bolivian general. He has connections everywhere. Big boss. Like, yeah.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. Yeah.
Rojas. We figured we found his name in those data logs tied to some offshore accounts. And get this, meetings with known international arms dealers. So
Oh
they're
my
not
God.
selling drugs.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a Metal Gear? Metal
It is Metal
Gear?
Gear. It is
Metal
Metal Gear.
Gear.
Yeah.
El Sueno is just a puppet.
Looks that way.
Looks that way. Rojas is the real threat. And these weapons, they're the key.
Okay, but how many times have we found a new real threat per page?
Like
What's
this
the
time.
average ratio of
We have
pages
found
that
many
you
threats.
read?
Did anybody realize it was also international arms dealers?
Yeah.
Lest we
Mr.
forget.
Jungle Road Knight, the ghost, and a stolen Santa Blanca vehicle drive along a dirt road.
We need to intercept the weapon shipment. Find out where it's going. Also, we need to find out where the drugs are going to, and they might be in a different place.
No, this is not about drugs. This was never
We
about
don't-
drugs.
We don't even know what the
About
weapons
Rojas,
are. So
who
I
has
mean,
nothing
like,
whatsoever
They're
to do with El
advanced.
Sueño.
They are
they're just
advanced,
weapons. So
Yeah.
yeah. Are they
Intel
nukes?
on-
We don't
Intel
know.
on ground transport is limited. They're moving fast and changing routes.
That's okay. Off screen, I've tagged the truck from the airfield with a tracker. It's heading north towards the Santa Blanca heartland.
Oh fuck.
Suddenly, they are ambushed. A barricade blocks the road, and armed Sicarios open fire from the jungle.
Ambush.
Suddenly a
It's hit the
barricade? Are you
deck.
kidding me?
What?
What did you say, Danny?
Suddenly a barricade?
Yeah.
Just popped out. It's a blind hill, so you see like,
Exterior
it
jungle
came
road
over.
continuous. Gunfire erupts. The ghosts take cover behind their vehicle. Reaper take. Oh, sorry, I'm not. Yeah.
Reaper, take out the heavy gunner and the barricade. Fink, countermeasures. Punisher, suppressive fire.
Got him.
Suppressive fire!
A sniper shot takes down a Sicario manning a
Oh
mounted
my
machine
God.
gun. Fink deploys smoke grenade, creating cover. Punisher lays down a heavy barrage of fire. The ghosts fight their way through the ambush using tactical maneuvers and coordinated fire. Exterior jungle road continuous. Their vehicle is damaged but still functional. They break through the barricade.
We lost them for now.
Wait, they got out of their vehicle, then got back in and just drove through the barricade?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
Oh,
go.
They did.
Oh my god.
Yes, they did.
Sorry,
we lost
affirmative.
them for
It's
now.
heading towards a heavily fortified compound in the mountains.
Hello. We
Looks
lost them
like
for
that
now.
their main
We
storage
are
facility.
Still tracking the truck.
That's
All
where
right.
their weapons are going, right into the heart of their operation.
Wait, does the tracker on the truck know about the heavily fortified compound in the mountains?
Speaking of Danny, you have a line there for Fang.
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Oh,
is heading
he said that. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Affirmative
All right.
is heading towards a heavily fortified compound in the
Yeah.
mountains.
Alright,
Looks
and
like
then
their
we
main
got-
storage facility.
Okay, and then we just need Reaper.
It's going to be a tough nut to crack. Lots of security.
Yeah,
Okay,
crack those
10
nuts.
pages.
The tough nut.
A lot of stuff happened. This
Wow.
time.
Lots and lots,
Lots
of
of
stuff.
stuff. You know what?
I'm gonna make John lose it.
Your
Oh, that was some good stuff.
Oh,
Your
That was the
formatting-
best stuff.
your
wow.
formatting has gotten way better. So good job. We clearly are in an action genre, and there's a lot of things going on. And they're exciting. You know, we have people shooting and barricades and planes and hacking, and we have everything. So good job. There you go.
There's even almost a love interest.
Yeah,
Except no one's in love with
love
her.
interest.
Almost love interest.
Almost. It's there.
I mean, or a Stockholm syndrome victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the least incoherent script of Draco's we've read. So you're definitely improving. Good job, buddy.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
John,
That was a lot of fun.
that was.
Was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of action and lots of really interesting stuff going on.
Robert.
I think that the action it fits the genre for this this type of invasive adventure story. Lots of shooting, different kinds of techniques, and they're modulated to the moment when they need to be subtle with a taser gun, when they need to use explosives and smoke grenades. The idea is there. And I'll save the rest for constructive.
Larry.
There's an idea. That's for sure. I guess he's got some of the cliches done, which is good in a military action story. So yeah.
Erwin.
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of reminded me of like the military, the sort of Rambo,
Extraction
movies like from the 1980s and such. And so
Yes.
it's
You,
kind
you
of
mean like Predator?
Yeah.
No, dude, Predator only had one twist. And it came well after page 2.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I never watched Predator. And
Dude, really?
That's pretty good. First one was good.
Okay, I'll have to
They
check.
made a bunch of sequels.
It's a real
He
movie.
did make us a lot of sequels. Yeah.
Like, Predator is really,
It's
really,
a
really,
very
really good.
promising franchise.
Yeah.
Very, very promising. Yes.
The first
Okay.
one's good. Second one's okay. I like Predators with an S.
Yeah, that was good. That was
It's,
good.
it's,
Yeah.
it's a pretty decent sequel.
Yeah.
Prey was good. I enjoyed Prey.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're
I
talking
enjoyed
about much
Prey
better
as
stuff
well.
than
Draco. Let's get back to Draco.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh wait,
We
did
have
Draco
to.
have a script? I thought we were
Yeah.
reading the. Okay.
Okay.
Erwin, we done?
Yeah, yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
we'll start with you, Erwin.
Oh my God.
In what way do you think he could make the story better?
I think I would like to focus on a character for some reason. I mean, give me a reason to focus on one of the characters and follow that person to some degree. I know it's a team kind of action film and everything, but yeah, I mean that would anchor your, whatever. That some people might say that the premises are kind of cliched or whatever. We got it's a drug operation, but really it's advanced arms, right? Yeah, I mean the story's been told since Oliver North first, right? So we need. I think I need to be interested in one of the characters. The whole, I think the whole like there's a nation that doesn't want us to be free thing that definitely worked in the 1980s and even in the 90s. I think, yeah, maybe something that isn't quite so, I don't know, so forced. Some backstory that's a little bit more 2025 or something. Maybe it's like 5 nations that don't want to be free, or I don't know, or maybe maybe the drug the drug corporations are wanting to take over from the drug lords.
Erwin, you got a good idea. We should call the group of the 5 nations the 5 rings.
Yes,
And
I
they
agree.
each have their own like signet ring that has like a
Yeah.
symbol on it, and that's why they're called the 5 rings.
Hmm.
I think we should just call them Pfizer.
Yeah. Okay.
And Biogen
Well, I
Anyway.
would say that's like the one element that he hasn't worked into the story so far.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Corporate, yeah. Corporate greed. All right.
All right, passing to Larry. What do you think, Larry?
Okay. So it definitely feels like he's just taken a bunch of broad concepts from other things and sort of mashed them together, but it doesn't really have any sort of overall narrative that I'm following other than, oh, we came to do the drugs, but now there's weapons, but there's, what weapons? There needs to be like a little bit clearer threat, not just advanced weapons. Could say it's nukes or something like that, or a bio weapon or anything, for God's sakes. We need some plot here. It's just a bunch of military guys doing military things. It's like Predator, like he said. It's Metal Gear. It's fucking Ghost Recon, because it's exactly like Ghost Recon.
In the name
so he
too.
took a bunch of Tom Clancy stuff.
video game stuff and movie stuff and put it all together, but not coherently. So it needs a fucking page one rewrite, and it needs to have a fucking story.
All
And it
right.
needs to not use trademark names.
That too, okay?
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. Don't call your main character when you rewrite it. Don't call him Snake. Don't call him fucking Frank Castle. Anything like that.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he'll be lucky that he'll be really, really lucky if he ever gets sued, right? I mean, it's like
Yes.
Not really.
this is not a.
Yeah.
This is like it's a
Maybe
first
that's what he's going for.
He would
Notoriety.
get lucky if he gets to the point where he got a C and D.
If too many mega corporations sue him all at once,
Yeah.
they'll be too busy fighting over who gets to sue him.
There's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
And it's got G.I. Joe because we got Cobra in there too. I forgot about that. So
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think you should go the other way. Just make this about the Punisher.
Right? I mean, you could have a Punisher type person. You know,
Called Punisher.
Called the Punisher. Anyway.
Yeah, I
Robin.
would agree with everyone that this
Okay,
has
or
no
Danny.
characters and no plot. I'm also going to add that it doesn't have any emotional arcs. No one's.
What about Isabella? You didn't care about
Oh.
Isabella?
No,
Her being
not a bit.
rescued?
Isabella.
Nope.
Also, it's good. It's the Bad Batch. All the characters are directly inspired by the characters in the Bad Batch, the Star Wars show. So there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, no one argues over whether they should save Isabella. They just do the right things. They're big, upstanding white Americans.
I don't know that he
Gringo
actually said what color they were.
Well,
No,
I
those
mean,
people
it's
called
pretty.
Gringos.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's referred to them as all being American, and then they called him Gringo, which
And we
Yeah.
started in
slur against
Langley.
white people.
The orders came
Not
out of
a-
Langley.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Langley, the famous black site that no one's heard of.
Oh, please. Ouch.
Anyways, no one. The FBI has like nothing going on in Langley.
Nothing.
Also, why
at
is the
all, yeah.
FBI doing this and not the CIA?
Yeah.
Like, anyways, yeah.
Oh, God.
There's no emotional arcs. No one's like, oh, my brother died from drugs. We should kill all these drug dealers. No one's like, I'm addicted to tobacco and I'm going to get lung cancer. We should kill these tobacco dealers. No one's like, all of my friends are dead from weapons, from all these wars I keep walking into because I'm a big fat American. We should stop these weapons dealers. No one's like, I used to be a Hispanic villager who knew all about the goings on of the entire fucking country while having no power whatsoever. I really want to stop these people from taking me over. There was no emotional arcs whatsoever in this.
Yeah. Is Bolivia Spanish too? I'm just
Yes.
curious.
Yeah,
Is it?
named
Okay.
after Simon
Right.
Bolivar.
But a lot
Okay.
of
I
lot
was
of
just making sure. Yeah.
in the countryside are going to be speaking Quechua or Aymara.
Yeah.
But that would be an interesting. Those would be interesting cultural elements to incorporate.
They would be really interesting. which is why
An
Draco didn't
indigenous
do that.
patois would be fabulous if they did that, you know.
I mean, this requires research, though, right? So.
It does.
No. That's what ChatGPT for.
Okay.
ChatGPT
Okay.
is for.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, I
ask
gotcha.
ChatGPT
Yeah.
about what the culture is like and what's famous there, and then just write that in.
Yeah.
Actually, if you go
I
to
don't
the
know, that
CIA,
sounds like a lot of
CIA
work,
website
though.
about the country, they tell you all of that.
Yeah, John, that's a
Yeah.
lot of work. I don't know if Draco has time for that.
I don't
All right.
know. He's
Robert,
writing
what do you
5 scripts.
Okay,
so-
a couple of technical things. Obviously, he mentions their motivation and slightly tweaks it about 8 times in 10 pages.
He does.
So that's a problem. He should pick one, and
Uh-huh.
there you have your arc that's there. The dialogue is on the nose. They're not doing any action. They are telling you everything that's going on. So they don't have to move. They could just sit there and talk, and you would know those 10 pages.
Makes it cheaper to film. Let's go.
They've got to see it. I would say remove all dialogue and let's just watch it for 10 minutes and see what they do. And you figure out that's it.
That is actually a very good exercise that
Yep.
that is very good for beginning screenwriters. Yeah, right. Because screenplay is supposed to be 1/3 dialogue, or no more than 1/3 dialogue.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that is a serious, solid screenplay technique to practice with.
So that's something I'm serious about. The recommendation on it. The dialogue is pointless. It's not revealing anything. It's repeating stuff over and over again. As I said in the first part, there is a story there to be told. Yes, it's been done a dozen, 10 dozen times, over the last 50 years of one way or another. It made me think of Extraction more than anything else. The impossible journey they had of going in and doing something that they're never going to survive or whatever, or Sniper, one of the sniper films.
That sounds like a really interesting movie.
Yeah,
Extraction was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
until it
Let's
got
just
to the
talk
final
about better
shootout.
movies that are in this genre.
Well, I mean, yeah, it did get kind of cliched, actiony, but that happens.
But that happens, and once you've accepted the first part of it, you can live with it.
Sure.
He needs to get there. He's nowhere near there.
Yeah.
As you said, who said page one rewrite? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, there's a million other things you could talk about, but they're really pointless because most of them are based in the lack of a story arc, the lack of the hero's journey, and the lack of anybody you could get involved with. I think Irwin said that they need a leader in there that we can relate to. Somebody.
There's no characters, right? That's what Irwin said. And Larry's like, there's no plot.
Rico's little sister should have hidden away on their secret plane that dropped them off there, and they didn't realize it till the last minute. She jumps on them when they parachute out of their plane, and she's hanging on to the one guy, and when they land, they have to take her with her, and she's the emotional hook that we have as they go around. We've got to find what happened to Rico. They dumped Rico ages ago. They don't give a shit about Rico. They're going to stop a war. It was offensive a little bit.
That sounds like a really interesting movie.
I've seen 3 of them.
Actually, Robert, I'm kind of interested in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Because it sounds like there's actually a story there. And also a character. And like
I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive to Draco seeing this tape a little bit. I know you take the ribbing. You guys went off on me on using Ulysses as a name, and I get it. And it taught me a couple of things. One, it's some things you don't give a shit about, and other things you got to change. But Draco, if you're listening, if you do see this, which you should, do a massive rewrite on and keep the story focused. And just go there. I don't want you to get discouraged from writing. And I feel at some point, without you being here, we're beating the shit out of you. Which you semi-deserve.
You haven't been here long enough, Robert.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna bet there's like 10 more Draco scripts like waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
The great thing about
the first
Draco,
10
I will say, and quite frankly, I think it is one of the hallmarks of the writers who make it. He has a lot of tenacity.
Yeah.
Next week he's going to be back with something else, and that's
but I mean,
so I will say, to Draco's credit, I started writing screenplays when I was 14. As Preston knows, I moved out to California when I was in my early 20s. I've written dozens and dozens of scripts.
Sure.
And I never had writers groups like this. The idea of doing comics crossed my mind every now and then, but it was never really something I was that interested in. But my point all that is my writing has become a lot more focused on specific stories now that I have an outlet to actually publish. So I kind of feel what Draco is, because he's like, maybe he's kind of, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe almost like he's trying to figure out which story it is that he wants to do, or he's still just throwing all his story ideas at the wall, trying to see what sticks. Because I used to do that too. And it's like I would show a script to somebody, I'd get feedback that wasn't what I wanted, so I'd be like, okay, well then it's just that story is bad. Let me throw another script at them, and it wasn't really until I actually had a vehicle to put those stories out that I started focusing on a particular story and and really just cleaning that up until that was what I wanted. So that would be my real serious, in all seriousness, takeaway is just pick something, dude, focus on it, make it work, and get it out there and get it published. Because if you just keep writing shit and throwing it at the wall, you're not going to do anything until you actually pick a story and try to make it the best that you absolutely can make it. And you won't know that until you bring it back and you bring it back and you bring it back. And when it does get there, then produce it. And your entire perspective on your writing will change when you actually have a way to get those stories out there.
Yeah.
As I said, I kind of wish I started doing comics 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I want to jump off this also just a little bit. Like, and real talk, like, yeah, you've got a ton of ideas. You keep bringing us something new. That's great. I don't even think you need to go as far as John is suggesting and polish something as best as you can. I think you should just admit that you're going to write a bunch of crap and just finish writing the crap and keep on writing crap until you stop.
Yes.
That's
I
every
would- I
writer.
agree.
That
I
is the
agree.
writer's
I agree.
story.
I write
Yeah.
crap all the time.
Yeah.
Constantly.
We all do.
I haven't brought pages in forever, but it's not like I'm not writing crap. It's crap. And if you don't have the self-awareness, that's fine, but you still need to finish the story.
Yeah.
Like, can you maintain a whole story? Like, there's a reason why we keep asking for this sort of stuff where it's like, focus, just tell one story, tell a whole story, actually rewrite. Because none of us are going to complain if you give us, something that's half as coherent as Serial Twins, but clearly your vision. or whatever, right? Or
well,
like,
okay, let's just say we suffered through many streams of Moby's scripts, and it was at least the same story every time, right? So,
yeah, make that one story better, or just write more of that one story.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen more than 20 pages of a single story from you ever, I don't think.
Honestly, I thought you were on a really good path with your fantasy story, and you should probably just
like, why aren't you doing more of that? What's the one story that you want to, like, you wish someone else would make? Make it.
Yeah.
Start by writing it. Writing is magic.
Make up new names.
You have to finish casting the
Make up
spell
new
and
names.
actually, like, write the rest of the story arc.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff. So, I mean, don't try and make it perfect. Just make it yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like, your ideas or whatever. Like, no one wants to steal your ideas. Just execute the way you want to execute it. Find something you don't like and fix it. Do something.
Yeah, that's
Give
a
us
good
all of this
exercise,
crap
actually.
writing that you have, but actually finish telling the story. We're going to be here for that. Like, and I'm going to challenge you. Like, we're doing comics here. You've tried some comic scripts. Write an 8-page comic script. We'll read all of it, beginning to end, in one session. Maybe fix that. You don't have to give us a feature film screenplay every day.
I feel like
yeah.
All right. So when it comes to this specific script, I feel like I don't feel like you're like necessarily a fan of the genre, because like the way you describe it, like they have advanced weapons. Okay, like what? Like if you're really a fan of the action, well, they got AK-47s, or they got, like you would if you were a gun nut, you tell me what guns they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like they get ambushed. Okay, how do they deal with it? Through tactical maneuvers. Like what? Like you need to really sit down and go, okay, how do these people get out of this? And if you don't know, well, watch some action movies, or for that matter, watch some real life engagements of how special forces actually dealt with something. And like start to rely on these things and start to put them in start to put them in your work, and then go, okay, how could I build because one thing that you do is you're always trying to build this, raise the stakes, which I appreciate. Although I think in this one you're doing it like constantly and it's way too early. And you're always relying on the plot to raise the stakes. It's always like somebody discovers some piece of information of, oh, that really is coming from that. Oh, that could, and it's always like this information related thing, as opposed to the stakes being raised because like our heroes were actually in danger, or somebody they care about was taken hostage, or something like that. So I would say really spend time in the scenes, not worrying about plot to raise the stakes, but instead just visually and physically thinking about how are these people interacting in 3-dimensional space, and how are they going to, solve their problems of, the ambush or dealing with whatever. Yeah, and try to write those scenes in a compelling way. Because if you can start writing a compelling action scene, a compelling gun battle, a compelling chase scene, well, then you're on the way to really writing a script. Because the script
Many
is just
scripts.
a series of
Many scripts.
Yeah.
That's a skill. That's a developed skill.
Yeah. I feel like I think I've sat through a number of Draco's works. I can't remember exactly if they were Draco's or someone else's, but I do feel that that you need to feel something about something that is happening in your story, or about a character, or about a conversation, or you need to laugh. Whatever you write, if it's going to be a novel length or a screenplay length work, or a three issue comic book arc or something like that, I feel like you had better feel something, like actually physically or emotionally feel something about what you're writing. It could be just one scene. It could, and if it is just that one scene that gets to you, I would suggest that you might maybe sketch that one out and see how the story is built around that. Because my suspicion is that the person who wrote this is not feeling a character, is not feeling a death in the story, is not feeling a struggle, a conflict, or even a theme, like a theme being like humans are dirty bastards and war is hell, but this is our human, whatever the theme is, feel it. Find something that you feel something for and write around that, before you start putting out 8-10 pages. Don't write the screenplay. Don't write screenplay pages. Just focus on something that makes you feel something, and imagine that story in your head, or draw it out, or or whatever. Watch movies that can make you see it, or something like that, or read news stories, or read biographies that touch on that thing that you can't stop from growing inside. So that's my suggestion.
All right, those are all the scripts we got tonight.
Awesome.
Thanks for stopping in.
Adios, chicos.
Yeah, next week hopefully we'll be back from Hollywood. Tell you what it was like watching our movie with Armie Hammer and Thomas Jane. Woo!
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you say hi for me?
I absolutely. I know. I'm gonna say. Danny says hi, and everybody will be like, "Oh my gosh, I miss him, and I look forward to seeing him again." Anyway. All right, everybody. I will see you.
I'm gonna post my Kickstarter.
Oh, you have a Kickstarter?
Address. Yeah, I got a Kickstarter up for my.
Okay.
The first issue of my comic book, Blues and Breast Milk, art work by David Luhan. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'll post it up in whatever forum it is on.
Okay, I just went to Kickstarter and searched booze. I didn't see anything. Let's see.
Oh, you searched blues or booze?
What is it? Blues?
Blues and Breast Milk. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, Danny, I donated $10 to your.
Oh, amazing! I'll send you a PDF anyways.
I want it. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Blues and Breast Milk, 42 103% funded. So you made your goal. All right, cool. Look at you, Vampirella. Yeah, meets Crime and Punishment. Snow White meets nurses a Morlock. The rationales of altruistic self-sacrifice and rape, murder explored. Let's see. Do we have any interior? We do have some interior pages. Let's take a look at that. We got booty. I know John Lamont's excited already. That looks pretty good. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at
the artwork's fantastic. Yeah, we even John Sorry, we even have a spicy version of the title.
You've been hanging out with us too long to know not to do that, right?
That was my number one comment to what's his guy's name on that was we were talking about his
Thorax,
Kickstarter. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thorax. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you know, like you need to have, you know, get a
Spice.
gender bent version of your character as a female and just do a spicy cover. Even if you don't have it on the interiors, those covers sell. Like, it's.
Diane and I rewatched Ed Wood like about 6 weeks or so ago. And
Nice.
there's a line where Ed Wood is pitching the producer, and he's like, "What's the one thing you can put in a movie that's always going to draw an audience?" He goes, "Tits." And I was saying it with him at the time, tits.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, with a title like Breast Blues and Breast Milk, you know that the tits are actually there for some reason.
So it is appropriate for children.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely not appropriate for children.
Sounds pretty appropriate for children.
There's a
I mean, breasts were made for children.
Plan 9 for not expression, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, there's one
Ooh.
scene near the end that is just absolutely, I'm kind of terrified of people seeing it. But yeah, anyways,
You're gonna do great. You've already funded. You're going to print. You've got something to show for yourself.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
Yeah. It's an interesting read. You know, it's an experience. The one thing I really wanted to do was to make the reader go through something, make them feel like they just went through something. Because these days, when I read a 20-page, 23-page comic book, I feel like nothing really happened.
See, whenever I feel like I want to go through something, I'll just read a Draco script.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
All right. Ciao, ciao.